Ass. Good morning, Biddy.
What up, Biddy?
Yo, why is your shit snack, crackle, and popping? What's going on? You got a loose wire?
I don't know.
Shit.
You got loose wires.
Got a couple loose screws too.
Let me see. I don't know because it's not happening to my audio outcoming. It's just
acting dumb. Yo, I'm telling you, it's very similar to some of the stupid ass shit. I think it's I need to stop fucking around and getting the cord. No, what, right now?
Yeah.
Say something.
Something?
Yeah.
What the hell? I changed the thing. All right,
that was a loud one right there.
That was. All right, hold on.
But I want
everything up, but
yeah, Vermin hears it. Vermin hears it too.
Bang.
Now I don't hear you at all. You don't hear me? Because I don't hear you. Biddy said the same thing. She still heard crackling. What up, Verm? What? You gonna go out and come back in? I want to see something.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh no, I turned it off. I was trying to say I can't hear you, but of course you couldn't hear me tell you that I couldn't hear you. Yeah, I had turned it off. Is it better now?
No, it's still doing that thing. I wonder if it's a wire.
Oh, God damn it. All right, hold up. One more thing to try. What about now?
Still there.
What the
Not
fuck,
to the same degree. Oh, now it is. Now it's back. It could be I wonder if it's your audio driver being ass. Have you updated your drivers recently?
Hold up. Which one? Oh. No, that's wrong. God damn it.
Oh, wait a minute. I don't hear the crackle.
Yeah, I know.
Uh-oh, that means a feature got taken away.
Yep.
A feature got taken away. I already know. A feature got taken away. That sucks.
It's probably something I did, though. It's probably not it just acting up. I probably...
you broke it. That's what you saying.
Well... Hopefully,
effectively, yes.
Hopefully, it's not actually broke. Hopefully, I just need to reset. But it is what it is.
Yeah, well, those things happen. Yeah. Those things happen. It'd probably be a good idea for me to actually, I don't know, share the stream.
I mean, if that's what you want to do. If you believe in stuff like that.
I mean, I don't know that it exists. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what you mean. I don't really. You know what I'm saying? But in the outside chance that it does, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put that here. Bam.
Boom. Boom. Might as well. Morning.
Morning.
Might as well turn this off completely since I'm not able to correctly utilize it. Who? What? Who? What? God damn it. Yeah, turn it off completely because I can't fucking utilize it.
Sucks.
Close.
All right. Close this.
God damn it. It's broke. Hold up.
He broke it. I knew it. We handling some tech things for a second, folks. Give us a chance.
All right,
ooh. All right. All right. There we go.
Boom.
All right. Everywhere you look. Save. We need some like Jeopardy music or something.
I would have some if my shit didn't break. Well,
oh yeah, that's a good point. That's
good. Have some.
That's a good point.
What up? What up? What up? What up? What up?
What up, Stella?
There we go. There's my money. Huzzah.
You got money now? That's crazy. Jonathan.
What up, Jonathan?
Says he'll be multitasking this morning. That is...
Won't we all?
Yeah, I was about to say that is the bane of our existence over this motherfucker. Multitasking. Trying to get shit right. Yeah. And yeah, that's good, I guess. I should have did a better aspect ratio on that, but tis what it is, because it was what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to be here.
Sure. Nah. Nope. Nope. I'm good. I'm gonna pass on that one.
Oh, you was just there, nigga. You was just there.
Nah, I wasn't in that. That's some Jurassic World type shit. Nah, B. You never know what's gonna come behind these bushes. Nah,
hell, you
I'm
see them
good.
People enjoying themselves in the
They
water.
have no idea what's about to happen. I'm all the way good.
Yo, the prompt I put in it for that was very, very simple. See, even Biddy would hang out there. You know what I'm saying? The prompt I put here was very simple. I put tropical, beach and jungle. That's it. Oh, and the 2- test P,
yep,
2- creative.
Part. It's the jungle part that's gonna fuck you up.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Oh man.
You don't remember Ian the famous words of Ian Malcolm?
What's that?
Life
finds a way.
Finds a way.
Yeah, I hear
Listen. I don't want no parts.
You don't want no smoke?
Nope, not at all.
You don't want no smoke.
Yo, if anything twice my height, I'm good. I'm good.
Nigga, it don't have to be twice my height.
No, it don't have to be.
Yeah, I'm about to say, like, I don't have to be twice my height. That motherfucker could be half my height. I'm out. I'm out. Fuck out of here. Look out of here. I'm out.
Oh, God.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Not at
nobody has time for that.
I ain't really here to play no games.
Damn that. Yo,
that if.
Yeah, for real. Yo, ever since I rediscovered the remaster shit, I've been going back over a lot of those old picks or whatever that I did early on in my mid journey. And Sean said, which AI paint generator did you use? I was playing. I use Midjourney. I've tried Dolly and what's the other one? Stable Diffusion. I don't like them as much. I don't like them as Midjourney, yo. I don't. You know what I'm saying?
That is why you fail.
Yo, I don't like. It's the workflow.
Yesterday was a combination of Stable Diffusion and Dolly.
Oh, I already know what Stable Diffusion can do. I don't like the workflow. It bothers me. You know what I'm saying? And it could be because I'm a creature of habit.
Everything bothers you.
So, because everything is bothersome.
I ain't gonna hold you.
You know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna hold you.
I get used to a certain workflow, and that just works for me. Like, all right, I'm doing it this way.
This is extraordinary circumstances. This isn't. It's never going. Well, I ain't gonna say never, but likely never going to replace Midjourney.
No, but it's good. It could be a good supplement, though, right?
Yeah, this is for extraordinary circumstances. Like you can't do that in Midjourney.
Right.
What I did.
Right.
At least not yet. And I don't think it ever will because it's a paid service. Like I couldn't do that with only Dali. What?
Right.
No, I couldn't do that with only Dali. Stable Diffusion
does everything. It basically do everything.
Because it's free, it doesn't have the limitations that some of the other, because those other places got to protect themselves legally.
Right. But the thing about that is, don't they give you like credits every month?
Not Stable Diffusion. At least not, well, there's Dream Studio. If you go to the Dream Studio website, yes, I think so. But you can get Stable Diffusion other ways. You can't get Dali other ways.
You can't get Midjourney other ways. That's true. Yeah. That's true.
So,
that's true.
Yeah, the free version of Stable Diffusion, you can pretty much do anything. And
I was laughing at the one thing you showed me where the guy says that he doesn't like AI art. Now listen,
that was in the comic book group.
This is what I will give credibility towards. If you don't like the overall aesthetic, if you look at it and go, this doesn't appeal to me, that's subjective, whatever. Yeah. But that wasn't his reasoning.
Not liking the idea? No, fuck you.
Yo, it's
technology. Technology is going to paraphrase. Technology
find a way.
Finds a way.
You know what I'm saying? Finds a way, babe. Like it's kind of crazy to me to not like its aesthetic is one thing. To not like the concept of it.
No, you bug.
I don't. Yeah, you kind of bug. Like so you'll see a nice pic. The pic looks great. But you'll say I don't like it because it was done.
If you find out it was AI,
if you find out right, like
no, I don't like it.
That's a little,
but what
idiotic.
No, that's your insecurity showing.
Yeah,
is what that is. And I get it. I'm not totally mad at people like that. I understand why, especially they would be insecure.
If they feel like their job is going to be, phased out or lessened. I get that. Yeah, I get that.
You're wrong. If you're good enough, you're wrong.
Right.
Because one thing that a lot of people like misunderstand is the concept of hey, it actually works in a different way than I usually use it. Echo chambers. So you happen to see it everywhere because you are in the field.
Right. Right.
This isn't people. This ain't everywhere.
That's a fact, bro. That's a fact.
There are a lot of people that have no idea. Matter of fact, I showed Kristen a couple of them last night. She was like, "What the fuck?
The fuck? Mm-hmm. Yo, this is not
everybody don't know this.
Everybody don't. Right, yo. That's a fact.
Everybody don't know nothing about this. Like
that's a fact.
Now, it's true that you might have some bad actors that are going to generate some of this shit and not make any edits and just take what is generated and sell that. Of course, you're going to have some people that do that. Of course.
But I would argue even those people, as kind of non-creative as I think that is, even those people aren't being actual bad actors. If you look at the terms of service of like Midjourney, they allow for you to do that.
Yep.
So they're still working within the realms of, the program itself and the intention of the developers. But again, some people, classic example. I remember as a young artist trying to figure out how I was going to get my album covers done. Right. I remember how the fuck, this actually helps those indies who don't have a budget pay for that shit to come up with album covers.
What up, sis?
Hey, sis.
Y'all
Ogma's in the house.
Oh God. I put the mustard on the skull rat demon only to find my.
He's not wrong.
Grape soda. I mean, yeah, that's a fair assessment. I ain't wrong.
He's not wrong. But that'll get better too. Watch.
Y'all have seen some of my cover art that I've made.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I can't do it, but this is
Facts.
So much easier.
Facts, bro.
It's gonna make it so much easier.
With the exception of three. Cover art from
and I helped with one.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's only been like all the rest of them I had to do. Yeah. I said my wife did my first one, like, and I did one years ago, but I never released that project. But and in order for me to do it, guess what I had to do? I had to take imagery that. Chances are I wasn't even thinking about looking at the copyright back then, whether or not somebody owned it. I take imagery and mash it up, do all some stuff. Like this makes it a lot easier for that.
You ain't gotta worry about that now. Like a lot of people that are complaining about this either don't know or aren't taking into account the fact that compositing is an actual skill.
Right.
Compositing is something that people get paid to do.
Bro, I would argue that much of hip-hop sample culture is composite. Because there are producers. Hold on,
real quick. No, it wasn't about you being here. That's almost an inevitability. It was the AI story shit.
Don't act like I don't brighten your day with my presence, bro.
It was the AI story shit because
it wasn't you.
Absolutely, that's absolutely a fact.
You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, the reality of the situation is, this stuff is like Bad Boy, won't stop. So you gonna have to figure out a way around that shit. But like you said, in a comic book group where you're liable to find people that are illustrators, right? They're going to have. Some of them are going to have some hurt feelings about that shit, and then you're gonna have some of them that sees the utility in it, and as if nothing else, a sketch tool to sketch out their ideas before they put it and do it. Okay, yeah, something like this. Oh, okay, I'm gonna try this. And it's like in music production back in the day when they started selling loop packs, right? You can go to Big Fish Audio or some other ones and get these loop packs, and these a bunch of just loops, guitar loops, piano, whatever, drum loops, whatever. And in and of them by themselves, I'm guessing you could make an entire song with just those loops. It won't have much diversity in it though, as far as switch ups and change ups and all that other shit. Right. It'll be a straight loop and you just go through. You could do that, but more people.
That's actually something that I used to struggle with when I was making my beats. That I stopped and realized people don't care about that as much. Like, no, they don't. It's not as important as people on the internet make it seem.
Right.
It's not. So like 4-bar loop beats are fine.
No, you can, bro. There was a time where that's basically a lot of hip hop was that,
and that's what I'm saying. Yep.
A lot of hip hop was that.
If I'm always trying to incorporate some type of aesthetic of old school hip hop, then 4-bar
you absolutely can do that.
I'm still music theory, so sometimes.
But see, it also depends on the loop. Like there are some loop patterns that are timeless. And all you have to do as the rapper is just go in and that shit works. There are other loop patterns that get monotonous after a while, and it does. It would behoove you, you know what I'm saying, to add a changeup or two in there. Ogma says, Stella Form says, used to get CD-ROMs in the magazines back in the day. Yep, I remember that. Ogma says the scale that AI helps run our lives every day would floor people.
A fact.
From timing traffic lights to figuring out the best feed for cattle was only a matter of time before it made its way into creative mediums. Yeah. Yeah.
Without question.
Stella, exactly. A 4-bar loop beat is no different than sampling a record. Hip-hop roots are grounded in sampled loops. This is the fact. You know what I'm saying? It's a fact.
Freaking
That's where a lot of that shit started from. It wasn't until I would say when the production, the budget for production like really got crazy, when hip hop became like an industry type thing, where you started being able to get these producers with these wild ass ideas of how to put this together. But before, man, just grab a record, a break beat. It's a break beat and just go. So like, it is what it is. And I think with most things, if you actually have just an open mind to some certain shit, you'll find a use for that thing, even if you're not going to use it exactly the way somebody else is going to use it. But what was that analogy?
I'm about to show. Okay, all right, cool, Vernon. I'm about to show these pictures. Cause why not? At this point,
yeah.
Because I don't have. Let me see. Share. This is ridiculous, y'all. There's absolutely no way that, and I'm being facetious. There's no way this should be possible. But it is what it is. This
is what it is.
This is what we got at this point. Like,
yeah.
If you would have ever told me that I would be a Gears of War character, I'd have told you shut up.
With a bouffant. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Bruh. I'd have been like, shut up, yo. You don't know what you're talking about. Let me see. What's next? Oh, okay. That could be like a Def Jam fight for New York.
Facts.
Let me see.
SPJ the Barbarian.
Bruh.
Yeah.
I probably could have did this one better. This was a Vice City.
You're like your cousin there. You like one of your cousins there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Actually, I do look a lot like, yeah. But yeah, the
prophet has returned. On his ass.
This was based off of Vice City, I think. What's it? No, not Vice City. San Andreas. Okay. Not San Andreas. 4, I think.
Oh, speaking of that, just putting this out there. GTA 6, they're going back to Vice City.
Oh,
I've been waiting.
Oh, yo, that kid got arrested.
Yo, yeah, they're not playing no more. Yo, they're not playing. They're not playing no more.
This was a complete accident, but fuck.
Yo, you like a cross between Bishop and fucking a Terminator.
You know what I put in?
What?
War Machine.
Wow.
But it didn't do War Machine. It did a War Machine.
War Machine. Right.
Let me see. This one was just some random.
Yo, you look like a run-of-the-mill lab technician.
Yo, that's
Oscorp and shit.
That's kind of what I put in. I think I put in scientist in the lab or something like that.
Yo, you like Oscorp, yo. like you work for Oscorp. Look at this.
Look
at this Jurassic SPJ.
This one, I was like, oh, okay, safari time.
Yeah, you're like a dinosaur's about to come out at any second.
Yo, I don't even know what I put in for that.
When you showed me something that was like you old then, yo.
I'm not even sure what I put in the thing.
Your uncle said you like Atticus' older uncle with mad stories
funny.
in the last one.
That's funny.
Yo, that's hilarious.
I don't remember what I put in for this one.
Oh, I did. Tyson. SPJ.
No, nigga.
Tyson.
No, that was happenstance. That was happenstance. That actually didn't come from the generation. That came from the expansion. The generation was something different. I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
But that came from the expansion. Let me see. That's just old man SPJ.
Old man SPJ.
That's it.
You got stories to tell right there.
Oh,
you like,
woo!
I
got some stories. Hulk.
It looks like that looks like your secret. You're always.
Let me see. Cartoon King.
This nigga.
I don't fucking know. It's
what the hell is that in your hand, dude?
I don't even know, yo.
Like, why did they?
When I saw it, I was like, okay, cool.
I'm just gonna say that's a Game Gear or some shit. Like that's Sega. That's a Sega Game Gear or some shit.
Dark Elf SPJ.
My shit is crazy.
Just a recreated photo.
Nigga, you
That's
look like
ridiculous.
You look like you spent 15 years in the wrestling game back in the 80s. So the shit on top of your forehead,
right?
That's the scar tissue from the razors and shit. And then you wind up, you actually killed a man outside the ring, so you went to jail, and you just coming home, yo. You just coming home. You know what I'm saying? Your forehead look like Ric Flair circa 85.
Yo.
Like,
let me see.
And then another 15 years running the yard. Yo.
Let me see.
Bags.
Serial killer, ex-murderer, bruh. And here's the thing: I almost got banned because, well, I don't know if Dali bans you, but Dali was like, yeah, you can't use that word.
Yeah, and certain words they will not allow you to use. Fuck you,
mean I can't use, because again, this is a company behind this, and they don't want certain things.
Just like with Midjourney, you can't use certain words in Midjourney. Yeah.
But I got away with it by saying psycho clown or something like that.
There are ways to get. I ain't gonna tell a lot of it.
Yeah.
I don't want motherfuckers, but there are ways to get around some of it.
And then zombie SPJ
with a small dumbass boom box type of speaker by his ear and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously he was rocking before he got killed, and he still had the thing on him and shit. So
you know, music even after I die. Come on now,
zombie.
But like this shit is absolutely.
This shit is dope, yo. This shit is dope. So I mean, like I said, I get people they're gonna feel about it the way they feel about it, but that shit is fire to me, like,
bruh.
And it's very useful to people who like me who I don't draw the fuck.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't draw.
I don't know nothing about that life.
Nothing about that life? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, like, and also I do have access to people that can, but like for all of the ideas that I would have, I would literally be doing one or two things: spending a shit ton of money to get that done, or constantly abusing my connections. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people have other things. This is the other thing that we're going to actually start talking to people about later, because we have now this comic book thing is doing what it's doing. There are quite a few people that want to publish under Majestic. And to be completely honest, we are not really in the position currently to be able to do that. We're still in the building process to do we can't do a bunch of titles right now, right?
Right.
But what would help considerably is if people build their infrastructure, like get somebody to design your characters, because we have in Majestic right now, under Majestic, we have one artist, and that is the head of the art. He's not just doing E&E.
Mm-hmm.
There are other comic book companies that he does work from. You know what I'm saying? And even though he doesn't have ownership there, they help pay his bills. You know what I'm saying? So like he can't be expected to do everything. That's why like this is still very much a startup. So let's have startup energy. You know what I'm saying? Let's have startup energy. And it reminds me a lot of the way it is currently, and it's probably been that way for probably the last 15, going on 15 years, where these record companies, probably longer than 15 years, these record companies are not developing artists, yo. They're not. By the time they sign you, find your ass to want to sign you, you've already got your shit together. Or you could at the very least be a strong indie. Your sound, your look, they're not doing no fucking artist development like that no more. They haven't been doing that for the longest time. They come to you when your shit is already whatever, and they say, now, look, we got an engine we can plug you into, this machine that will blow your name up all over the place, get you access to things you couldn't have access to, but when you was an indie. But they're not, you got to think of a lot of this shit the same way. Like, yo, get your shit. Get your shit. Your character's designed. You got your story down. Do that. And then you make it easier on us, where we just plug you in. Majestic gets an audience. Just plug you in. Look, bam. See this? This is shit. Go get this. Go get this. You know what I'm saying? But Ogma said you can use our name. Now go do all the work and call us when the check clears. Actually, by the time you get the check, they already took
had the check. Yeah,
they took out everything.
You get the secondary check.
Yeah, like, and that's kind of always been the case too, because they're gonna make you recoup. If you're making money, they'll make you recoup. It's that simple. Like, and here's how that typically works for people who don't know. So you went out there, signed a record label. They gave you, let's say, $200,000 advance. Actually, I was about to get to that. Ogma. They give you a $200,000 advance, right? So you got this advance, and what that's supposed to be for, right, is to get the album done and shit like that, right? But a lot of people don't use that specifically for that, and they know that too. They know that too. So they're gonna let you keep tacking the bill on. Pay, okay, yeah, sure. And then say this record gets released, and you expecting, I'm gonna get a big check because it's doing well. Well, here's the thing. All of that other money you spent,
they already paid you.
As a matter of fact, they loaned you that. Yeah, the advances, they loaned you that. So if the cost of production, the cost of marketing, and all of that eclipses the money in that check, what you'll get is a stub saying, this is how much your record made. But because you owe this, that, and the third, this is what you get. Wait a minute, there's nothing there. Yeah, because we still had to pay our shit off. But don't worry, we'll check and see in the next quarter to see if you actually earn some money. And this is the other thing a lot of times they don't tell you. So A&R people are ass. They're ass because a lot of the times they know the people that work in these studios. So a lot of times they basically be running finesse on the record companies with the cost of the studios. That's what they used to do back in the day, right? So they get a kickback from the engineer, the audio engineer that run the studio. They get a kickback from them. So what they do is they get these invoices and say, this is how much it's going to cost y'all. No, it's not. It actually, typically it would cost less than that. But they know they have a record company with big pockets coming in here. So they go, no, this is how much you got to pay for it. And they go, okay. And then some of that money goes right into the pocket of the A&R people. Or your manager. That shit happens all the time. And that's why they specify. When they tell you some bullshit about, you really want to use this studio because they got the best facility. Nigga, please. Nigga, please. No.
They allow us to charge the most.
Right. Stellar Form says, that's why I always buy merch at shows. Literally the only way an artist gets paid. Mm-hmm. And then she said, Stella says, because Stella might be I can't even see that picture. But says, lots of people don't realize that artists are hardly nothing from ticket sales. Yeah. And the only time you really do is if you are one of those artists that has made a serious impact, you have a track record, and you have equity. So you can negotiate for a better deal. You don't necessarily. Oh, okay, my bad. But you can negotiate for a better deal because you are a name. Like, let me tell you something. Somebody like a Kanye or a Drake, they're gonna get theirs. They gonna get theirs. You feel me? It's not. They already have a name. They are an established artist that with proven record of making money. When they want to renegotiate, they can renegotiate. Now that didn't quite happen in the fashion part, but again, Kanye started off as a musician, so he may not have the exact same stroke in fashion as he does in music, but trust me, anytime Kanye wants to renegotiate a deal, he's going to get a large percentage of what he's asking for.
Yeah,
you know, Argo says if you don't have a lawyer in the room that you trust and you are signing a deal with one of these snakes, at this point, I look at you. Yo, this is the other thing that people don't realize. Never let the record company give you a lawyer.
I'm about to say, they're not your
lawyer. Never let a record company give you the lawyer. They're not your lawyer. That's their lawyer. Looking out for their interests and looking at their paperwork, and you don't know none of that legal speak. They're looking at that paperwork, and they go, oh, yeah, this is probably the best thing. Nigga, they trying to play you. You better go get your own representation, and that come with headaches too, because sometimes your representation might talk your ass up out of a deal that could have been good at some point, right? You know, but that's a chance you take. I still say it's better to have your own. Yeah, it's still better to have your own. Augment says, I saw a Hobson interview about that. If you can't trust the lawyer, they'd be like, I'm just saying, they play a lot of games. I thought he'd never leave. Let's both screw him. Facts.
All facts.
I'm just saying. It's the indie life for me. For me, as far as I'm concerned, at this point, I want to make a deal that benefits me and you as partnership, not as me being back on your payroll. Now, don't get it twisted. There are some people that don't realize that they don't have as much value as they believe they do. For instance, 100% ownership is a weird flex if that 100% you own generates no money.
Facts.
It literally makes no sense for you to have 100% ownership of anything in that space that doesn't make money, when you would do much better if you had 50%. And the other person that had the other 50% is a bigger company that can get you generate money for you. So it's one of the things where you gotta decide for yourself which way you're going to go with that. But if a larger company comes along and says, we like what you're doing right there, and I'm not even specifically talking music, it could be anything that creative that you do, like you can make an app or whatever. We like what you're doing. That's pretty dope. If you let us buy a certain percentage of that, we can get you paid, like paid. And you go, no, because I own this. This is all mine. All right. So in 5 years, when that shit you just did right there is really not even the hot thing anymore, and you generated no money because you sat around like that's you, where you could have been on a yacht somewhere in the Caribbean, right? You could have been doing some really cool shit with your life, nice big old house and all that. And you sitting there talking about, yeah, but I own it. All right. All right. But shit, 100% of something that generates no money is zero. So the fuck.
Facts. Fuck that.
Sometimes you got to know when to sell.
You got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold.
Yo, facts. Og says 5% of watermelon is better than 90% of a grape. basically, you know, unless you like grapes, you must really like grapes.
Yeah, unless you like grapes.
You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just saying. The biggest thing is the stipulations that come with it. I need creative control. You know what? Even with that, that's gonna have to be negotiated. There's a certain percentage of creative control. You're gonna have to go in and surgically make that a thing, because you cannot expect a larger entity that's investing the lion's share of the money in this to let you say we can't do whatever you want, and we have no say, no filter on the shit. They're not gonna do that. So you got to even go into that deal and surgically carve out a space that you're comfortable with. You know? Fabo. What up, Fabo? Is it crazy? So we are not quite an hour in. I'm thinking, do we need to do the intro?
No. Anytime we go past half hour, it's kind of useless. It's kind of useless.
So crazy. So I guess if we do our weekly recap, I should go first because I don't really have a whole lot. I don't have a whole lot. My week has been full of observations and taking care of certain things, right? So first thing, I went out there and I cut that lawn, that back lawn. And you know, since we took that storage down, it's this big square bare patch over there, right? I'm looking. I said, this shit looks terrible. Actually, it really does. But now I'm on the horns of a dilemma because it's the fall season. I'm not throwing no grass out there now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing none of that shit. So I'm gonna have to wait till spring. So I'm gonna have to be looking at that dumbass patch out there for the longest time, right? Until we can actually do something. And even then, with all the wildlife around here, like there's a bunch of birds. They gonna come down here. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that up. So that's one. That's the one thing I did. Second thing I did was we made a decision. Majestic made a decision on where we were getting the metal books from, and I placed the order for the metal cover books. So it's with an American company, and that means our shipping should be fairly quick once they get them all printed. As a matter of fact, this company is the one I got the demo from, and it actually came earlier than they said it was. Right. So I'm hoping that's the same thing here. Soon as we get those in, that's when there's a second part of this process that has to take place. These books are supposed to be signed. Right. So this means when they get here, I got to sign them, and then send them to either Joseph. No, I'm sending to Joseph first, the big struck, and have him sign it. Then he's got to send it to Graydon, have him sign it, and then Graydon will ship them out to everybody. Yeah. Yeah, look, now my audio want to act dumb. But that's going to be a pain in the butt, but it is what it is. And we are going to figure out a better way to do that. Much better way, much more efficient way to do that.
I have an idea, but I can't tell you on here.
Yeah, and I kind of probably know what your idea is because it was but we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. But other than that, my observations this week, I want to say, first of all, to the people down there in Florida that got mashed by Hurricane Ian. I looked at some of the footage and pics and videos. Yikes! Yikes!
Yeah, it's crazy down there.
It's crazy right now, and like me and SBJ had a ongoing inbox with Cindy and McKenna, keeping us updated on, first of all, their well-being, make sure they was good, and they did pretty good. They was in a relative, both of them were in relatively good spots where they didn't get hammered. But shit. And now that motherfucker creeping up the East Coast. I think it's in the Carolinas now, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, was in there yet? Was over there yesterday.
If not a little bit higher.
If not a little bit higher.
It's supposed to touch us sometime today and tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Just rain.
I don't like
rain.
Yeah,
I think until Monday.
But during the whole week until the next Monday, or
no.
This weekend period.
Yeah, just this weekend. Oh, okay, it's not Monday anymore. Just today and tomorrow.
Okay, I'm good with that.
That's a little better.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Seems to be dying out.
And we are fortunate that we did not catch.
Bro.
I saw these boats, man. Yo, that shit.
Fucked up.
Oh my, it looked like a fucking war zone, yo.
Yeah.
It looked like a war zone.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder about certain things. So the infrastructure. Now, just like in California, where they have buildings that are designed allegedly to be able to withstand earthquakes of a certain magnitude.
Right.
There are things, the way they do certain buildings down there in Florida are supposed to be able to withstand certain strength of storms or whatever. Now, I'm sure not all of those houses are built like that because I don't know when they started doing that.
Probably most.
Probably, but I don't know when they started doing it.
A Cat 4.
Nah, B. Nah. Trust me, we got 4 cats in here, and that shit ain't cool.
Okay, all right.
But look,
all right. Okay, all right. Not quite the same thing. No. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that's a little bit different.
That's a little different. But no, man, that shit looked absolutely crazy. Yeah. And my heart goes out to a lot of them that lost entire homes.
Facts.
That shit crazy. I'm looking at some of the ways you news people treat your on location reporters.
There's no reason that they should be out there.
There's no reason.
I don't give a fuck. I don't care if they want to be out there. There's no reason. Yo, if I'm the head of that location, and my anchor is like, no, I got to go out there. Okay, you can't take any of the equipment.
Right.
No, fuck no. We're not doing that.
Yo, listen, that's me too. Because first of all, I watched videos of a dude get knocked down by a fucking tree,
by a branch. Like what the fuck? You literally got knocked down by a branch, bro, and you still reporting.
Yeah, I'm not doing that, yo. I'm not doing
Sit your monkey ass down somewhere.
Yeah. Or sit down somewhere. No, it's so crazy. I'm like, yo, why do y'all think this is important to the viewer? Seriously. Like, why do y'all think that this is something that like I don't need to see him out there?
Here's the thing. It's local news. They know.
Yeah. They know.
You don't need to tell them.
You don't need to
that
tell
there's
them.
A Category 4 hurricane
they can
outside.
Literally feel as their rooftops are being peeled off like a fucking banana. Like they know it's happening. You don't need to be out there.
This is not actually news.
It's not actually news. This is spectacle.
Right.
And yo, you know what you could do if y'all wanted to do that? Like we got Midjourney. Just literally go and make a
and on top of the knowing, I'm pretty sure a decent amount of them aren't sitting down watching TV.
Facts. Oh, Stella Form. I absolutely saw the video of the reporter getting hit by the stop sign. I saw it. Like, yo, you can't pay me to go out there in this? Are you crazy? I'm not doing that.
Nah,
like, and to be truthful, I can almost understand. He's so stupid, yo. I can understand kind of like snowstorms that aren't like that. Standing out there in snow, I can see it. All right,
that's a little different.
That's a little different. But hurricanes, that's a bit extreme,
there
bro.
There are so many ways to die. All right, in a snowstorm, right? In a snowstorm that heavy, there's like 2 ways to die:
freeze to death,
and like suffocation or some shit like that.
Or you can slip and bust your ass.
Well, sure. In a hurricane, there are like 17 ways to die.
6 million ways to die. Choose
what are
one.
we talking about? What are we talking about here?
You could get your head completely decapitated from a sign coming off there and slicing the shit. You can get impaled. You can something can fall down on top of you, take your ass out.
You can get smacked against the building.
You get smacked against the building. A tidal wave, the water drags your ass off, and you're in Florida, which means there's alligators, there's water moccasins. Yo, there's a video. They literally had a sharknado down that bitch. There's a video where there was a shark. They got knocked the board onto the land and shit from the board. Come on,
nigga. There was sails walruses walking around. It was a fucking cave.
Cats and dogs living together. This shit was
okay. All right. Sure.
But seas were turning to blood.
So many ways to die in a hurricane.
It's just not a good thing, bro.
Yeah.
Says my second favorite. My second favorite is the reporter in Georgia who kept getting bugs flying in his mouth. Y'all to quit.
It's not worth it. Yeah,
I'd have quit on camera, yo. I'd have quit on camera. Like, I'd have cussed them out. Yo, I'd have cussed them out on camera before they could get the beeps.
Fuck all of you.
Fuck all of you.
I'm out.
I'm out. You keep this job. Shove it up your ass. No, hold up. Drop the mic. Fuck out of here. You're not doing that. You're not doing that. Fuck that. Yo, he said to the first horsefly to the face, I'm out. Yo, facts. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
That's what the fuck he was supposed to do, Stella.
He did. But yo, see, the thing that's funny is, we don't need that. No. As the viewer. We don't, like you said, it's local news. We don't need that, bro. We don't need that.
We're literally out here with you. I mean, not outside because we're smart, but we are aware of the conditions.
We know what's happening. We don't need to be, And I can only imagine. I would love to know what the insurance is like that covers because seriously, people can get hurt. People can get hurt. They really are. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. And y'all reporters got to have a little bit more respect for yourselves. Like I saw a guy. What's his name? Velshi. I think his name is Velshi. I forget his last name. Velshi is a journalist for it. Like I've seen him in war zones reporting. Mm-hmm. I see him report on like just overall global news, national news. He is a legitimate. He's even done exposés, all that. You still put my man out there. They still put my man out there. I'm like, yo,
dude, no. Mm-mm. You know how many awards I got on my jacket?
Facts.
Fuck
and that's what need to happen. When you win awards,
you need to stand up.
You need to put them bitches on you somewhere, or if it's a big old thing like this, a picture.
Hey, listen,
some right.
Chain.
You know what I'm saying?
Chain.
Come to work with that. Come to work with it on, and then when they look at you and go, "Now we can't get him to go out there." Hey kid, you over there in the counting room. Grab Mike, get suited up, going out there. All the facts.
Yo,
it's
funny.
Raining sideways.
It's raining sideways. We don't need Ali. Ali the weatherman. We don't need you. Yeah,
we don't need him out there.
We get it. I hear the pattering on my windows.
Facts. Like, yo, my windows just caved in. Like, I don't need to know.
I hear the audible howl. Like,
bro, my electricity is out. I know.
Yo, fan his ass.
I used to start walking around with my metals.
Oh my god.
Facts though. I'm saying, you gotta sometimes you gotta because people will try to play you, yo. They'll try to play you like you ain't accomplished. Like, no. I'm not no newbie. You're not gonna put me out there. And yo, I saw Velshi out there. I went, yo, I've literally watched you do whole hour presentations on this network about some serious social issues, and then they got your ass
down, soft music in the background.
Yes, yo.
The
quality B-roll,
the quarter turn angle on the all that. Yeah. Why are you outside in the fucking torrential downpour?
What the fuck? Yo, love yourself better.
Bruh, that was the craziest shit. With the nigga that got hit with the tree branch. 150 miles per hour. Why are you out there?
And then,
there's no reason.
He saw it coming too. Because he bent his legs to brace from it. What?
Because here's the thing. You can't jump.
Yeah, try it. The moment you leave your feet, you'll never be on your feet again. You'll never be on your feet again. Exactly. We have closed circuit TV. I'll be putting people out there. Yo, it's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. And they're so used to doing it that it's like a thing that I don't even think they really think about now, unless this is hazing.
Nah, I think you're right. The first one. I think they really don't think about it.
They don't think about it. Like, we always have somebody out there, that's part of the. Nah, it was time to change.
Got somebody that's willing to do it. We're gonna send them out there.
What's that shit? Owen Hart, his catchphrase. Enough's enough. And it's time for a change. Fuck that, yo.
You spent all this time wondering whether it was possible that you never stopped to think if you should do it or not.
Right, facts. Because they sitting up there thinking about, okay, we gotta have the mic a certain type of way, make sure it's got the thing on there so that the wind doesn't cancel out the sound, and they're doing all this and make sure the feed comes through here, and you gotta have it plugged up there. We got the truck out there. Y'all did all that.
This is a human. You
didn't even think about if you should do it.
Right. Yeah.
The shit crazy. But there's other things, but I'm actually gonna fold that in to the other shit. So what was your week like, SP?
All right. So nigga, a couple bits and bobs. First of all, this is in no particular order. I hate when I'm scrolling Twitter and see somebody doing a shit take on some type of race relations in the U.S., but the people fighting back don't understand how to argue or debate.
I hate it, yo. I hate it. I see that shit all the time.
It's like,
yo.
Bruh, like, I'm happy
your pushback
you're
sucks
up to this person, but
your pushback sucks.
You're not making an actual point. And you're not dispelling.
And there's some things bullshit that they're saying that's absolute bullshit. That if you just pull at that thread and you're not catching it,
you're not catching it. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Which then has the added effect of making the asshole think he knows something.
Bruh.
Yeah, yo, I see that shit all the time.
Like, what is going on? Like, what? He gave it was an alley-oop.
Yeah.
He ran to the opposite. He ran to the wrong goal and softly lobbed the shit up. And you're like, nah.
Right. Where there are clear responses and accurate pushbacks against what that motherfucker's saying, but the person that's arguing is so inept.
They just don't ever pay attention. They don't take advantage of it.
These are the low information people who feel and hear what this person is saying is wrong, but don't have the information to pull that shit apart.
And I hate when those are the ones that get that
me
shit
too,
catches. Yo. Yeah, yo, like again, you have very good intentions. I'm rocking with you on your intention.
Yeah,
but this was easy.
You don't have the ammunition, obviously.
Bruh, this was a layup.
Here's the other thing about their intentions. My question for them is, if you feel this strongly against what he's saying, at no point did you even think to look any of this shit up to have the like that's what has me looking at them, because I feel like they see this racist dumb shit come across their feed, right? And inside they're like, oh no, that's bullshit, but they cannot verbalize at all what it like in a way that takes this bullshit down. So that person that's spewing that bullshit gets to walk away like the pigeon that you play chess with that knocks over the entire board and just struts away. He struts away, you know what I'm saying? And that shit's annoying. And then typically with me, I don't get involved if it's too many comments in. If it's way too many comments in, I'm not trying to cut through that shit.
Yeah. Nah, there's no way.
That's it, free thinker. Intentions can be good, but the execution, the actions can be just wrong.
Yeah, it matters.
It's wrong. That shit matters.
That matters more than the intention.
Because that's not an accurate fight. Here's the thing. You're in a fight with somebody, right? And you didn't start it.
Yeah.
But now you have to defend yourself.
Yeah.
Blocking,
you meant to beat their ass.
Yeah, blocking the aggressor's punches with your face.
Not helpful.
Not helpful. It's not really helping anything. And that's what's happening.
Terminator or some shit. Like.
Yeah, right. And he break his hand on your face and shit. I mean, there's every possibility he hit the wrong way, hit the wrong thing. He might move a little bit, and he break a knuckle. That could happen.
Yeah, it's possible.
But it ain't likely.
It's not likely. If he breaks something, he breaking something.
Yeah.
If his hand fucked up, your face fucked up.
Yes.
Let me see what else. So just a slight annoyance that happened when I was going to work. I was parking in the garage. So our garage, I think it has two different speed limits. I think at one point it's like 5 miles per hour, and I think at one point it's like 10 or 15 miles per hour. I can't remember. So I was just so annoyed. I'm driving behind this motherfucker that is in so much of a rush that they can't properly stay in the lane. They're like driving through parking lots.
Right.
But they're driving below the speed limit. What the fuck are you doing? What? Why? What? What is the point? If you're going to drive below the speed limit, stay in your fucking lane.
Yo, but I don't understand. That's the type of shit that make you literally want to get out your car, pull them out,
nigga,
beat their ass, and the little shit like, yo, since you holding all of us up, might as well hold you up right now. We even
yes, but yo, effectively, because you know it's one of those parking garages that go up, not the ones that go down. So you're driving in a circle.
Oh my goodness.
To get up. So every time that they're turning, they're literally turning into the last parking spots.
Right.
The last two, actually.
Right.
And it's like, bruh.
What are you doing?
Get the fuck out the way or go.
Right.
Like what? You're in so much of a rush that you can't drive 3 feet further.
It makes you wonder, though. It really makes you wonder, like, what's going through that mind? Like, are you distracted? What's going on? Like, are you jamming this music and you're not playing? What's going on, though? Like,
I guess it's possible. I don't fucking know, yo.
What's up, McKenna?
What up?
McKenna still alive, still with roof on her over her building.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah,
facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, another thing that happened. Marcus motherfucking ass. Wants to do Mardi Gras. Instantly, immediately, effectively. Fuck no. I'm not. I'm not going.
I'm with you.
Yo,
I'm with you. I've never had the desire.
He sent this to the group. The travel group chat, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm out. I'm out on this one.
Yeah.
I'm not going.
I'm not interested.
And then later on, he asked me why. Several reasons. One, Mardi Gras in February.
Right.
We just went to the Dominican Republic, and we're supposed to be doing a trip for my birthday.
Right.
I am not going on a trip 2 months after going on a trip 3 months after going on a trip.
Nah, I feel you.
That's just I don't got that kind of money.
Facts.
I personally don't got that kind of money.
I know y'all over there scratching, obviously.
This nigga,
you know what I'm saying?
This nigga just got his refund check. So he balling right now.
Yeah, he balling right now.
Yeah, no, nigga, I'm good. Then on top of that, even if that weren't the case, I'm not spending upwards of $1,000 on a domestic trip.
No,
you want to talk about your Disneys and your Orlando? I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah, it's expensive.
I'm not spending $1,000 to go anywhere in the contiguous United States of America.
Yeah. He walks alone.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not mad at him. He can go.
He balling.
I'm just not going to be there.
Balling right now.
I'm just not going to be there. He can absolutely go. I'm not mad that he suggested it. I'm just not going.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not spending $1,000+ to go anywhere inside this goddamn country. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It just is what it is. I'm not doing that.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I enjoy traveling to other states in the country. I'm not spending $1,000+ on it
to do it. Right. Right. Right.
The plane ticket's like $500 right now. I'm like, all right, think about that. It was September. It was September to February. Mind you, we didn't start paying for my trip in December. By the time we start paying for this trip, you think they still going to be $500?
No, nigga. No. Absolutely not.
So, yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, it's not. It is not for me. I travel.
That's the frugal traveler over there.
Bruh, I travel in country once a year. I never spend $1,000. No. I'm talking about per person. Maybe you talking about for a group of people. That's true.
Yeah, for a group of people, that's gonna group.
But I'm talking about per person. Yeah, I'm not. I've never spent $1,000 on a trip in the country.
That's why
you're exaggerating. You don't even gotta do that. I'm telling you. The trip. We going to Atlanta in December. And it's not Florida anymore.
Okay.
We going to Atlanta in December. The flight is like $220 round trip. Like no.
Ogma dumb, yo. Ogma's just dumb, yo. Look, when they palm out here, it's Ogma, yo. Like
facts. So. Then on top of all that,
damn. Jamie says he went from Florida to Ohio on about $160 in gas.
That sounds about right.
With a family of 6.
Hey, listen. I'm all about, y'all know I go places, but I'm all about maximizing where I can go and what I can do. Like
$1,000 a person is a wild bar.
In the country. Like I said, unless you're going to Disney World or Universal Studios.
That's different because you got to pay for tickets to get in there.
Yeah,
that's different.
That's different, but no, just going regular travel. Nah, when we went to Myrtle Beach, I may have spent $800. May have.
Right.
When we went to Atlantic City, I spent like $5. When we went to Miami, I think I spent like $6 or $7. Like. No, I'm not spending $1,000+
Right. I think you just visited Atlanta.
Yeah, just visiting. So the other thing about Mardi Gras that I'm 90% never going to do, people.
Yeah, it's just if you want to see,
I think that this motherfucker doesn't like. I love Marcus. I'm pretty sure his memory is worse than mine. No, I know for a fact his memory
is worse than yours, right?
Like, what part about I don't like people don't you understand? Why do you keep assuming that I want to be around a bunch of people?
If you ever want, what's up, Discord? That was you. But if you ever want to see a clear example of where you don't want to go, if you're a type of person that don't like being around a bunch of people, it's Mardi Gras. Bruh. You see some, it's just
the streets are literally crowded with people. Literally crowded with people.
Yeah.
Like you get the concert feel on the streets. Like what the fuck are you talking about? Like it's no, I'm not doing. I did tell him. I said the only way I would ever go is if we start planning this a year in advance. Because that's the only way it would be price efficient.
That's true too.
For me.
That's true too.
And
what did you do? What did you do to combat the people? See?
Oh no! Hold on. I pay attention. I know my peoples. this is not. We're never going to start playing a trip a year in advance.
Yeah.
That's why I gave him that. That's why I told. That's why I told him that. That's never gonna happen.
That's hilarious, yo. That's hilarious.
Because I'm not. Again, this isn't a place I want to go. So
you're not gonna be doing planning.
And this is the thing. He didn't ask me why I didn't want to go to Mardi Gras. He said, "All right, why you don't want to go to New Orleans?" I absolutely want to go to New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go to Mardi Gras.
Right.
It's one of the reasons I generally don't travel on the weekend because
it's too many people.
It's too many people, and it's more expensive.
Yo, my thing is, I put up with it at Dragon Con this year.
Facts, Ugma.
But Dragon Con had the most amount of people I ever in my life have been around that close together. And I'm talking, I used to go down to the Inner Harbor on the 4th of July shit and New Year's.
Yeah.
That easily eclipsed. It was uncomfortable. What's up, Joe? And because it's in a, like at least with the Inner Harbor, it's outside. It's somewhat more of a wide open space. Except for that walking that pier is like, when it gets packed, nigga, it's packed. But we're talking, most of this was taking place inside buildings.
Yeah.
And it was ass, yo. Like trying to get on elevators, all of that. It was ass. So it's like, I can only imagine. The only reason I felt that, because that's business, you know? That was business. We had to go down there for business purposes. But
you enjoyed it.
I want to. Bro, I enjoyed it. But that don't mean I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I get it. I
was on the, what was that, the 5th floor? I think it was on the 3rd or 5th floor, right? Trying to get downstairs after a certain point or go back up. Yo, I literally used to go, I went on a hunt for food because Yetta was still up in the room, and it just was not worth her trying to get down there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It wasn't worth it. So, yo.
I get it. Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm never going to Mardi Gras. Like, it's way too many people. And like I said, everything is upcharged because they know everybody's coming down there.
Right, yo, exactly.
That kind of, no.
Exactly. Hey, Joe, my publicist is there too. My publicist is there. I think she's delivering a speech or some shit. But, yeah.
So that's Mardi Gras. This past Wednesday.
I
ain't gonna hold you. Was literally the most busy and productive single day.
I don't like those two words together, yo. Man, three things: busy, productive at the job. Oh, gross.
Bro, it was so bittersweet.
It's Mandissa, Joe. Mandissa.
It was so bittersweet because, well, all right. So on this one day, like this is again the most busy and productive day I've ever had at the job, ever in my entire time down there. On this particular day, I had to put somebody into the time clock. I had to correct my vacation time because for some reason when I put it in, I put a week after I was supposed to put in.
Oh, you broke
I had to correct that. I had to make a bunch of copies of data from different CDs that we use for accounting and all that other shit. I think it was like 7 of them. Somebody got locked out of their account. I had to fix that. I had to teach somebody how to use their voicemail.
Okay.
I had to set up. Well, she's like 19, so she, in her defense, she ain't never had to. Never had to do that before.
Yeah. You're still a kid.
I had to set up a computer for somebody that's supposed to be coming Monday. I had to coordinate setting up a printer for somebody that's moving to a different location Monday. I had to replace.
Shouldn't have took that long though, right?
Shouldn't have. You would think it wouldn't.
Oh man.
I had to replace batteries in a couple UPSs, and for those who know what UPSs are, that's not a quick task necessarily, and like these aren't little home UPSs. These are
Right.
server size rack mount.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to go relieve my boss from setting up a different person's printer because somebody fucked up royally, and she was needed to help fix their mistake.
Wow.
I also, yes, Joe, they are the package, the battery pack for one of them was 50 pounds.
Yikes.
And 50 pounds, like, I don't know the technical term or whatever behind it and all that, but picking up a 50-pound human is not the same.
It feels
as
lighter.
picking up something.
It feels like that's
this
compact.
Big.
It's compact. Yeah,
it's different.
I think a 50-pound human, you can shift the weight.
Yeah,
like, all when the shit that's like that is compact. That's all that weight is right there.
Nothing you can do. You gotta move that.
You gotta
Also had to go over some forms for the online app thing. I had to go over some of the forms with my partner, then with my boss. But for that, I am now effectively to the point of being in charge of this online process now.
Oh,
now hold up. Let me be clear.
More money. Huh?
When I say in charge, keep in mind I still don't got no power or make no decisions. That's not like I explained it to one of my coworkers. I'm driving, but it's not my car. It's not my car. I still don't have subordinates, nor do I want any of that.
You don't need
I'm
it.
still simply
You're insubordinate. You don't need.
I'm still simply a herald. I'm a herald of my boss.
I hear that, dumb.
Yeah, I don't. The power doesn't come from me.
I hear that, Norin.
The power doesn't come from me.
That shit.
But what I mean is pretty much everything involved goes through my hands now. So that means that there will be no more holdups moving forward.
Is that what
as
that
far
means?
as me having to wait for somebody to do something.
Is that what that means?
Yes, because I have the keys now.
Oh.
I just go do it. I don't need to wait for somebody else. The only thing that I have to wait for now, which is something that still existed in the former configuration of this, was I just gotta wait for somebody to double check. And it's
Mike said, "I'll be your subordinate."
So I have to just get somebody to double check because some of the things that I'm changing are legal things. So I have to get the head of legal to look at it, which is much easier than what I was dealing with before.
Right.
It should cut down significantly on any delays. Like, because it's ridiculous. We have, we've been working on this for about 3 years now. And we don't have a single job up and running 100%.
Wow.
We're at 3 locations. We have none of them running at 100%. So that's about to change because, yeah, we had a meeting with the people that were involved. It was bitter. That was bittersweet because one of the main people that was kind of like holding things up, she admitted, I was happy about this. She admitted that she didn't have time to do the things.
Right.
So that was good. But she kind of like threw a shot that if I wasn't so happy that she admitted that it was her, I would have responded to and potentially got in trouble. She like, yeah, we're just all assuming that somebody else is doing something. No. This was your job. Don't put that on us. We have no access. Well, back then, we had no access to the stuff that needed to be sent out. You're the one that had the access. Why would you assume that we were doing it? That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And it's not something that we could have done without getting approval at the time. So either you're just saying something to try to make it a both sides thing, or you're assuming that we just went into business for ourselves and decided to, no, neither one of those. That's not what happened. So,
Right.
but again, she did admit that she didn't have time to do it. So, I let the other things slide because there's no reason to get in trouble.
Yeah. But to be clear, that was a shot.
Oh, it was absolutely no.
To be clear.
If the other vice president in the room wasn't my boss, I would have brought it up. But because it was my boss knows what I've been doing.
Right.
So I didn't need to explain that to her.
Right.
If it was somebody else, I would have felt compelled to defend myself. Because, no, you're not about to make it seem like I'm either not doing my job or I'm doing something I'm not supposed to do. That's not what we're about to do. Right. But, again, it was my boss, and she knows all the stuff that I've been doing in this process. But, again, we ain't got to worry about that no more. The other vice president basically gave me the keys to everything. I immediately jumped in. She came upstairs. And she was like, because my boss had asked her for copies of some of the stuff, and it was a couple things that were still missing. So she sent her an email. She came upstairs. She's like, I don't have that. I was wondering if somebody else did, but that person wasn't there that day. And my supervisor, who's not my supervisor, was like, hey, remember like years ago when James was supposed to be working on this and he got permission from legal to do this particular thing, but it didn't happen? What's up with that? The vice president was like, yeah, I don't know if anybody has time for that. Can you do that? I said, yes, I absolutely can. I have all the time in the world for this particular thing. This is my biggest project. Like this is what I do. Like this
is your magnum opus.
I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you a little bit. Like this is my number one. Like on the list of my priorities, this is number one. Yeah. So yes, I have all the time. Just give me the stuff. Like as long as I have permission and access, I will make it happen. The very next day, I had started to make it happen, and I took it to legal, and head legal was like, "Yeah, I like this." I'm like, "Yeah," because we talked about this years ago. No, so what I found,
you should have said that.
So I found out that some of the issues with the things in general, not just with the online apps, is simply that nobody was doing anything. Like I've complained in the past about certain policies that we just won't let go and blah 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 blah, and I thought that's what this was. This was not that.
You mean policies like that you just won't let go, like making a journalist go outside at 150 mile per hour wind.
Right, shit like that. But this wasn't that. It was simply that nobody was doing it. That's all it was.
Wow.
So, like I said, she was talking about the system and blah, blah, blah. My supervisor, not my supervisor, got involved, mentioned the thing that, like I said, it's a pretty significant change.
Right.
And I proposed it and it got approval years ago. But like I said, the VP that was in the room was like, do you have time? Absolutely I do. As long as I've been trying to push this company forward, I'll make time in my day to do this. Turns out, the thing we were talking about, like I said, it didn't take much time. I did it by the next day. I got it done for one of the examples, gave it to legal, and she's like, yeah, I like this.
It's one of them things where, like, it's a task that isn't even really as difficult. It's just it's an oversight. Like, people literally just was not thinking about that this needed to be covered.
Facts.
But it's more inconvenient to not cover it,
bruh,
than to actually do it. You know what I'm saying?
It makes shit look stupid. Like
yeah.
This particular thing was our leases. We got this archaic, stupid looking ass lease. It's like it's like a part of it is across the page, and then it goes two columns all the way down, and then like the end of it is back across the page. It's like, what are we talking about? That's funny.
Yeah, Hug was ass.
That's funny. But I'm like, that's dumb. Just make it one.
It is dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb.
Make it a regular read instead of having to read this column.
Yeah.
Back up, read this column.
Yeah.
It's not a newspaper. Like, what are we? No, it's just regular, all the way across. And literally, the vast majority of the change, one button.
See that, yo?
I had to move some stuff around for format. Sure, like there was like 5 other things that I had to move around, but the vast majority of the change, one button.
That's infuriating, yo. I ain't gonna hold you. Like when you see that it didn't really even take as much labor to do, as the effect of it was causing, like just like we should have been to this.
No, Discord. The funny thing about that is, so they were written in Word and then converted to PDF.
I'll be right back.
So yes, that's true as well. That's true as well, Joe. But literally, the version of Word that the leases were typed up in, I can't remember if the first version was Office 2003. I think first version that they used to type them up in Word was 2003. But anyway, it had, the format, the layout button. It has the option for columns and whatnot. And literally clicking on the button and changing it from 2 columns to 1 column fixed everything to looking like it was supposed to look. So, not supposed to, how I wanted it to look, how I feel and a lot of other people felt it should look. But then there were a couple graphics that needed to be moved around after that because, of course, the graphics aren't a part of the type, so you had to move them manually. But again, it's not a difficult task. So yeah, and it's kind of making me question how many other things that people complain about and just chalk up to being policies of our company that the people in charge won't change are simply things that nobody's attempted to ever do. Like, that blew my mind when that vice president was like, oh yeah, I just don't have the time. Do you have the time to do it? Yes, it's from day one. I've been down, let me see, I've been in this position for about 13 years. Yes, Joe, exactly. I've been in a position for like 13 years. The first thing that they asked me, even though it wasn't technically what I was supposed to be doing, the first thing that they asked me, hey, look around at the stuff that happens, and if you see anything that we can improve on, let us know. So at the end of I do. So it's a small company, Joe. So it's like, it's kind of a bit of an oxymoron because it's a big company because it's real estate, but it's a small company. It's only like 400 employees or so. Actually, it's probably less than 400 employees. So we do all of the computer stuff. We do the networking, we do the security, that's why it's always hard for me to explain what I do. So I just chalk it up as say IT. Cause we do all that. I'm involved in, data backup and the networking and the security and the all around IT. And again, innovation. It's just that in years past, particularly before my boss now got in that position, we were stonewalled. We couldn't innovate. It wasn't a word that the company understood.
What, innovate?
Once my boss got the position, she was like, "No, fuck all that.
We're not going.
We're moving forward. Yeah, we're moving forward." And to her credit, since she's been in the position, we have.
How long has she been in that position?
I want to say 6 years or so. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, since she's been in that position, we have been making strides. And she wants to make us a modern company. I'm not gonna. We're not gonna turn this because we got other stuff to fuss about. Me fussing about the company. Anyway, so the next thing. So a lady came in one of the offices, fussing because they said she violated the terms of her lease.
Did she?
Well, before she came in, I heard one of the managers. He was in the back room. He said out loud, "I did not consent to being recorded. I'm terminating this call." Now, I didn't pay it much mind, but I did hear him say it. I heard him say it, but I didn't pay it too much mind. So next thing you know, one of the agents comes back and says, "Miss such and such," I can't remember her last name, "Miss such and such is on the phone for you." And he says, "Get her number, take her number down, tell her I'll call her back." Again, I didn't connect the two. I didn't, because I was in a different conversation.
Right.
These are just things that I overheard.
Right.
So, next thing you know, one of the agents comes back, "Miss such and such," and it's the same name.
Right.
"Is here to see you." I'm like, oh, okay. Interesting. So it was something that she couldn't wait to talk about, so she just came up. Okay, cool. So she comes in.
This is a tenant.
This is a tenant.
Okay.
She comes in with her aunt. She isn't the one doing the talking. Her aunt is doing the talking. So, of course, the manager's like, he's like, Who are you? Who am I speaking to? Like, you're not on the lease. I can't just give you, I can't just talk to you about this person's lease. Who are you? She's like, "I'm her aunt."
Hold up. When you ask, "Who are you?" did she look her head up like, "I'm Batman"?
Okay.
She should have did that shit. I would have did it.
No, it's cool. It's cool. So she's like, "I'm her aunt. Well, more like her mother. I raised her. Blah blah this, blah blah that." And he's like, "Okay, all right," because it's not like she was there by herself. She was there with the person.
Right.
So he's like, "All right, cool." So this is what happened. You tell me if you see any discrepancies.
Okay.
So apparently her boyfriend was shot like 7 times.
I'll record one discrepancy right there.
All right, stop it. Stop.
Why are you being shot, yo?
Stop. Listen. She claims that the boyfriend didn't live with her, right?
Okay.
She says that he was visiting, that he came to see her, knocked on her door, and when she didn't answer, he went to leave. And that's when he got shot, getting back into his car.
Okay.
Now, when she was in the office, she was irate. She's yelling. She's...
Y'all all kinds of motherfuckers.
Well, he was... I ain't do nothing to the lady. A young girl. I think she was in like her mid-20s.
Yeah, she was wild. She was in there wild.
Yeah, she was wild out. She fussing at him for hanging up on her. He's like, "Yeah, because blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. And I asked you this and you hung up on me." And he's like, "No, you told me I was being recorded.
And he said, I don't agree to be.
I don't consent to
I'm not with it. I'm out."
And I terminated the call. He did exactly what he was supposed to do.
That's exactly what he was supposed to do. Right.
So, because she's wilding out, one of the other managers text security. Like, "Get up here now." This is the quickest response I've ever seen from security at this job. Yo, I've been with this company for 15 years. I ain't never had seen security show up as fast as this guy showed up. It was like literally, I want to say 2 minutes. within 2 minutes, he was in the room.
Mm.
Now, mind you, this particular rental office, you have to put a key code in.
She popped out of the ceiling tile.
The main door is locked, so you have to put a key code in to get in. Then you have to walk up steps.
Right.
Then you have to open the door and walk around to even get to the room that we're in. Literally within 2 minutes, he was standing in the room.
That's because he's top flight security.
Bruh. I think he actually is either a he gotta be retired, I would assume, to work for this company. Retired cop. So security basically put them out.
So wait a minute. So he's a retired cop. So what if in his prime, right, he was like Steven Seagal from Above the Law and shit?
He might have been. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, the moves, he got there quick. He handled it about as well as I've seen any type of security.
Did he walk? This is how you know for certain. Did he walk in and go, "You guys think you're above the law"?
No, he doesn't.
But you ain't above my own.
No, he did not. He did not do that. But he did. He walked in. He said, "Okay, could you please step out of the room?" And
hold up. He hit him with a Superman with Zod, like, can't step outside. General Zod, can't step outside.
Hey, excuse me. Could you please step outside of the room? I ain't going nowhere. I'm waiting for him. Blah blah this, blah blah that. Because she had asked for a copy of her lease, because she's trying to figure out how she's violating the lease. Basically, number one, having someone living with you that's not on the lease is a violation of the lease.
And she was saying,
she said that
her position is he came to visit.
Yes.
And when he left out, got in his car, he got shot 7 times.
Yes.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Oh, somebody else got shot sometime recently in the area and blah blah this, but generally, with shots and stabbings 7 times, you know that.
Oh no, that wasn't a mistake. That was like, that wasn't a stray or nothing.
No, 7 times you tend to know that person.
I mean, this is the thing, right? I'm not gonna say so much because I'm never gonna incriminate myself in any way.
Right.
I mean, I'm gonna say, niggas get followed every day, B.
That's a fact.
Niggas get followed. Niggas get followed every day.
So on top of that, he's reading the report that the security. This happens to be the same security guy that was on the scene when the shooting and all that shit happened.
Mm-hmm.
So the manager's reading the report, and he's like, "This is before security came." The
Right.
manager's reading the report, like, "Okay, this says the guy's address that got shot is your address."
See now, this is a problem. This is a problem here because it's hard to make the argument that he wasn't living there when the address he's using right here is this one.
And here's the thing. She said, "No, he doesn't live with me. He lives somewhere else." He couldn't have, this is her words, nobody could have gotten his address from him because he was unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
I gave an address, and I did not give that address. So what that makes me believe is they checked his ID.
Yeah. Yep.
Also, the security guard was like, after they left, he was like, "That's not the girl that was there."
What?
That's not the girl, because again, she was at work.
Maybe she changed her hair and he didn't recognize her.
No, she said she was at work.
So if you wasn't there, how'd you give them the address?
I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea.
Let's calculate a real quick.
Now, see, here's the thing. Her saying that he was unconscious tracks. He got shot.
Yeah, he got shot 7 times. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I 100% believe that he was not able to verbally give them any information.
Absolutely.
But again, his ID. would have still been available because you don't need to be conscious for someone to check.
For somebody to look at your ID and shit.
Yeah. So basically, Mike said, so effectively, pretty sure her lease is gonna get canceled because at the time, this is what happened. That's the crazy thing. When she was on the phone with him, he wasn't sure if he was going to cancel the lease or not.
Right.
And that was a point of contention for her. Because she like, I got kids, and I need to know if I'm getting kicked out or not.
Let me tell you something. I
you
get
know
it.
what you're going to do. Just tell me what you're going to do. Tell me if I need to play.
Listen, the attitude is trash. I feel like I do kind of feel for her. I understand the whole
Yes, I'm about to say,
finessing.
I give her points because her boyfriend is literally laying in the hospital.
Yeah, and you know, just a lot of shit going on. Plus, just who hasn't finessed in a part?
Yeah,
really. Everybody's finessed at some point, but at the same time, you don't really have a bunch of legs to stand.
Bro, you don't.
Right?
You don't have any room to be in this office fussing at the managers.
Much less
the people that with a stroke of a pen can get you the fuck up out of here.
And now you made them call security in there. See, this is not. That's not. I mean, I feel for it, but
y'all called the cops. Fuck the police. The police was there.
She started singing NWA.
Listen. Oh, y'all called the cops. Fuck the police. When they were trying to get information about the shooting, they were disregarding the fact that my boyfriend was lying on the ground with bullets inside of him, with 7 bullet holes. How do you know that?
Oh yeah, you wasn't there.
You weren't there.
Right. Oh, she started rapping easy on the spot. Like the police coming straight from the underground. Yo, my thing is, you keep trapping yourself. But again, I get it. You are emotionally compromised. You're about to get put out.
So you're not really thinking. It's easy to not have your story straight when you're emotionally compromised.
That's what's happening. But that does not change the fact that you are revealing
you could
things.
Always exercise the option to shut the fuck up.
That's
no reason for you to be in here.
You can just shut the fuck up.
If the argument was, what are y'all doing with my lease? You could have just waited for that answer.
That's a fact. There was no reason for you to call.
You could start preparing for the worst.
Yeah.
All
Instead,
this
you made it worse.
Belligerent.
Yeah, you made it worse.
And you're clearly not in the state of mind to be in here and talk.
You made it worse.
You made it worse.
That's that simple.
So, and here's the thing. There are various potential violations of her lease that happen because, number one, there's a form that is an addendum to the lease that is literally called sole occupancy form. On that form is supposed to be everybody that's going to live in that house. In conjunction with the lease. Between that form and the lease, everybody that's supposed to live in the house is supposed to be on one of those two papers.
Right.
On top of that, niggas getting shot. And not niggas get shot every day, but niggas getting shot 7 times. That's not happenstance.
He got shot for one day for every day out of the week. So that basically,
bruh, that's not happenstance. I'm telling you,
it's not though. It's not.
No, and then on top of that, this is a very small part, and it's absolutely possible. But just with the other things that didn't add up, now I'm questioning. If this your boyfriend visiting you, what up, sis? Mm-hmm. If this is your boyfriend visiting you, why did he not know you were at work? Now, sure, it's possible. Sure, it's possible. But given all the other stuff that don't make sense, now I'm questioning this.
There's no single time that I am in a relationship with someone, and we've been together for a while, I pretty much know their daily schedule.
Bro,
I know their daily schedule. I know.
Now, if you just so happen to not be in the house, sure.
Yeah, sure. But you said work.
You at work?
Nah, see now what you're doing is it sounds like he was going home.
Yeah. Or leaving the house.
Or leaving home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he didn't just pull up, get out, go knock on the door, realize he wasn't there, go back to his car. No. He came out of that house one way or another.
Yeah. Yo, Ugg said, it's the 50 Cent rule. If you get shot less than 9 times, then we can still negotiate the terms.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Yo, that's crazy, yo.
There's something in the lease that covers things like, getting shot 7 times. I mean, It doesn't say it in those words.
Right.
But generally the things that come with getting shot 7 times are things that we want to keep away from our community.
I mean, like colostomy bags and shit like that. That stuff can be a thing.
Well, no, I didn't mean the results. I meant
okay.
things that lead to you getting shot 7 times. Not what happens after you get shot. I can't stand this. So, yeah, it was just an interesting, because every now and then I be in the rental offices. So every now and then I run across some crazy situation.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, I really wish that she just would have shut the fuck up.
All she had to do
that when he hung up on her, she took that as a sign to wait another day to talk about this shit.
Exactly.
And gone and been at her boyfriend's side in the hospital. Because that was one of her complaints too. Like, I'm not even supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be at the hospital with him, blah, blah. Then that's where you should be.
And you definitely shouldn't be
You're not helping anything.
Making your case worse.
Right.
By coming down here. Because now.
Well, here's the thing, Jonathan. That's what I think happened. Because again, the security guard said, that's not the woman that was on the scene.
Right.
So I'm kind of thinking, reckless speculation here,
right,
that they do live there together, and he was cheating on her. He had some girl over there, and he went to the car. Maybe he's going to the store real quick, and niggas caught up with him.
Yes, and it might have been.
That's what it sounded like to me.
So, I got a possible scenario. The girl he was cheating on his girl with, she was cheating on her boyfriend.
Oh, God.
The boyfriend followed her there.
Yo, that's crazy.
And then when
that's crazy.
I'm just saying.
That's possible. I mean,
no, Nessa said, lease manager. If 50 Cent can get shot and still make money and pay his rent,
y'all wildin' today.
Y'all the worst.
Y'all is wildin'. Mike says addendum 4A. If party A sustains 6 holes from a firearm, a written warning shall ensue. If seven, it's a bit too far and will count as a breach of contract. What the fuck is going on? Y'all wildin'. Y'all are wildin' in these comments. But yeah, in all seriousness, I hope that whatever she got going on gets resolved.
Me too.
In a way, because there's kids involved.
Yeah,
there's kids involved.
Yeah, no doubt.
So
no doubt.
I hope it gets resolved in a way that makes them kids be okay.
And I hope my man.
I hope he pulled through.
I was about to say, hope my man pulled through. Like,
Yeah.
But I'm now I done got a whole scenario.
Yo, that her boyfriend pulling up to wreak havoc, that might.
Cause think about it, bro.
That's plausible.
Yo, all right. So it's one of these things where people just we already acknowledged that this was a rage shot. Like this was rage. 7 times. Come on, B.
And there was a child
really ain't
there.
like you, yo.
There was a child there. There was a baby there. The baby might have been in the house when the shots happened, but there was a baby there.
Bro, let me tell you a hood tale from my youth. All right. Dealing with something very similar to that. So this guy, I'm not gonna say his name, of course, lived around the block. I'm not sure what the beef was about. Right. But whatever it was, niggas was mad. Niggas was mad. So the guy wasn't at his house. The guy was at somebody else's house a couple of doors up from where he lived. He's in there, and it's kids in there. There's one other adult in there.
Mm-hmm.
The dudes bang on the door. The guy opens. He's got a baby in his hand. The dudes pull a gun out. Now, it's one thing if they was just robbing the place, but this is believe that they weren't robbing the place. This was about him. They tell him, put the baby down or we're going to shoot the baby to get through you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He puts the baby down. He proceeds to get shot.
Mm-hmm.
The guys take off. Dude walks down his steps, walks down Emerson Avenue, still shot, collapses, crawling, walks up Denison Street, goes up to that alley, the alley from Denison to Edgewood that leads up there to the corner store, and he collapses in the middle of the alley. The next day, I get up. It's early in the morning. I'm trying to get up to Lee's store to get me something to eat.
Right.
I see a trail of blood from Emerson Avenue
goodness.
all the way to them. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? Right? I didn't find out till later that one of my mans was actually in that alley when dude walked through and crawled through and collapsed there. And he commenced to tell me everything take place. So it's not uncommon for niggas this is rage.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck if there's kids there.
Yeah.
They don't
We're
care.
not gonna shoot the kids.
Want
we
you.
Have to.
Yeah. They want you. They want you.
Facts.
And all I'm thinking
that's
about
crazy
is that scene with regard to your story, the story you're telling us about. Yo, that sound like to me.
Yo,
he's over there cheating.
Could have been.
I'm just saying, and like I actually have I have some footage here.
It's not really. I can't stand.
It's not really footage.
I can't stand.
I'm just setting the scene for everybody
I hate
here, yo.
Guts. I swear.
Like, yo, like this is the block.
You.
This is the block right here. This is the block. So y'all can
no,
y'all know. Y'all
not
know.
Even close. Nope. No way. No.
Yo, you know what I'm putting the prompt, yo? South Bronx 1970.
That's funny. That's funny. No, B, that's not what happened. That is not it. All right, so it's time. I'm sorry. It's time.
This nigga is an ass.
So last week, I got on here and I explained a portion of how much I hate how culture here works. But I only had a very small example.
Yes.
It was a very micro thing.
Right.
Here's the full clip. One of the reasons so many people either attack or try to disregard the idea of black culture in the United States is because there really isn't a such thing as white culture in the United States. Now, before y'all attack me, let me finish the bar. Let me finish the bar. This is particularly when it comes to pop culture. Now, just hearing me say that is going to hurt a lot of feelings potentially, but I have proof. The word culture.
That's what the op said. That's
the word culture, like many in the English language, has several meanings. To culturally appreciate.
That's true, Mike.
Funny, Mike.
Oh, Discord, right? That's culture. Stop it!
I'm trying to be serious, y'all.
What is he talking about? What this nigga talking about?
I'm trying to be serious, y'all. Stop, goddammit.
Burgers, dogs, what? That's culture. What are you talking about?
Goddammit, shut up. So, The word culture, like many in the English language, has several meanings. To culturally appreciate a wise woman, who I have the pleasure of calling sis, and Tombstone the Dead Man has the pleasure of calling wifey. Conversations are like contracts.
Facts.
In order for it to work out for everybody involved, y'all have to have
agree on the
the
terms,
definitions understood.
Yeah.
In the context that I'm speaking, culture is the customs, arts, social institutions, and achievements of a particular nation, people, or other social group.
Repeat that.
The customs, arts, social institutions, and achievements of a particular nation, people, or other social group. In the early times of this country, there was culture from the old times.
Yes.
They like to call themselves immigrants, removed the people who were here and stole and twisted bits and pieces of their culture and existence to mix in with what they brought over. Evidence of that are things like Mount Rushmore, Thanksgiving,
The Black Hills, by the way.
cowboy and Indian movies.
Yeah.
And don't be disingenuous. This isn't in any particular order. So also, there was an influx of Negroes into the
Negroes?
population.
Really? Was that?
Of citizens.
So wait a minute,
after some event,
They
I can't
immigrated
really
over?
remember.
Did they immigrate over?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't quite.
It wasn't immigration?
No, it wasn't quite. It was after some event. I can't really remember what it was called right now. But eventually, the Negro would do something, and then like clockwork, they would try and stop it, or at the very least, condemn it.
Yeah.
But
That still
before
happens.
you know it, they were participating in it.
Yeah.
If we're saying that,
Genocide and boysenberry.
if we're saying that soul food started as the parts of the animals that the beings that were deemed human decided weren't good enough for them at the time.
So they gave
And
it
yes,
to
I'm aware that this isn't exactly how it went for every single plantation. Yes, I'm sure. I get that.
Yeah, I know. I'm quite sure some plantations fed them the best food.
Sure.
I couldn't even get on that shit.
Listen. It's possible that one or two was like, nah, see, what makes me better than the other. Never mind.
They probably had the butler with that little dome thing and came over to the slave quarters like,
here's your caveat. Like I said, I'm sure it didn't happen exactly like that in every single plantation. But fast forward years later, and the rebrand is Southern Cooking.
Yes,
headed
absolutely.
up by people who look like Paula Deen.
Absolutely, bro. That's a fact.
The worst part, it doesn't even have to be done with ill intent for this shit to happen.
No.
I'll give another example.
Florida, come on, in Florida, it's involuntary relocation.
I'll give another example. It's stuff like the Cardinal Divas of USC. Let me be clear about this one. I don't personally think that there is anything wrong with wanting and then having a black majorette coupe at a PWI. I think anyone who is mad at these girls is a little bit off base. But it's not lost on me all of the attention that they are getting that the ones at HBCUs haven't gotten over the last 60 or so years.
Right.
Also, it's not lost on me that they aren't allowed to perform on the field with the band.
Okay.
Let me repeat that. They aren't allowed to perform on the field with the band. Okay.
Interesting.
At the HBCUs, see, here's the thing. They at USC, they perform in the stands. They have a section of stands that they perform in.
Right.
Now, at the HBCUs, the majorettes also perform in the stands.
Right.
But during halftime, they perform on the field as well.
Right, right.
Not at USC. No, not at USC. I wonder what's different. So let's examine a little bit more. Music. Let's talk about music. Some of the most popular music types today, such as rock and roll, country, funk, jazz, rap, blues, R&B, gospel, were created / influenced by African American artists.
Yeah.
Actually, I can't think of a single genre of music that came out of the United States that's around today and popular today that
doesn't have its roots
either
in the
started by black people,
influence. Yeah.
If you include offshoots, like I don't know if black people created metal, right? But metal comes from rock, which black people did create / influence. Okay, let's talk about movies. We've been talking about movies. Changing characters, turning them white, and complaining when it happens the other way around. There may be one mainstream movie about Egypt where the actors aren't white.
Let me think.
Maybe?
Hold up. The first Indiana Jones movie, they did use a lot of. It appears they use a lot of Arabs. In that part, it appears that way. Like I would have to go and look at the credit list, the people with credits, and see who actually was there. But that first Indiana Jones, it looks like they used a lot of
So two movies, two movies.
After 110 years, yeah. Which is one of my other points of disdain about the culture here and how things are framed. Yeah. So if it happens, if this said phenomena happens for 110 years and you said nothing, you made no stink, you didn't complain, you was accepting of it, and then when it happens a couple of times in the other direction, now this is a huge problem. That's something that's here. I have disdain for that particular behavior that happens here with that because you did not give a fuck when it was happening to other people for all that time, and they had to live with it. Their kids had to watch examples of that shit. All of this, nobody gave a fuck, and now it's a federal offense in your mind. That Little Mermaid is.
Now here's the thing: Egyptians aren't mythological creatures.
No, they actually exist in space and time. Hold up, before you go there. Charlton Heston was Moses. Listen, I'm just
So let me hit some of these comments. Og says metal has huge blues influence, especially early metal. Led Zeppelin, considered one of the founding bands of metal in most circles, basically directly ripped off blues songs as their own. All they did was mash blues songs together as covers and called it Black Dog. McKenna says, but the main cast is white. I think she's talking about the Indiana Jones movie.
Yes.
Plus, the whole idea of Indiana Jones is bad.
It's horrible.
It literally robs from indigenous culture.
That's a fact.
It belongs in a museum.
Facts.
So these things tend to pile on, and
he's not Mike. He's not. He's not. He's absolutely not.
No, Charlton Heston is not Jewish.
No.
Let's see. We talked about music. We talked about movies. Language. Let's talk about language. So these same beings who were deemed human at the time forbade Negroes to know how to read.
Yes.
So after that event, that continues to escape me. I can't think of what it was called. Whatever.
We'll figure it out.
And the influx of Negroes into the population commenced. There were undoubtedly issues. But I'm not talking about the obvious ones. I'm not talking about things like not being able to properly be represented unless you had someone who could tell you the important issues. I'm not talking about things like redlining, which caused schooling to be terrible because schools were funded by property taxes, and redlining made it so that the poor people stayed in the poor areas, and that whole thing. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that.
It was also was a heavy element in the lack of generational wealth, which then translated with my grandfathers not having any wealth to pass down to my moms and my dad, which then passed down my moms of not having that same amount of shit. So that when I'm a kid, summertime comes along, and a lot of the kids from other communities, even though it wasn't many of them at that school, when they would talk about their summer vacation, it was wild crazy. And my summer vacation was, I stayed home.
Right.
We got some trouble.
So to latch on to that before I go back to what I was saying. So the black travel culture, where the idea is to show off where you're going and where you've been. Part of that is because we couldn't travel when we were younger.
Yeah.
It wasn't a
fact.
thing.
That's a fact.
So once we are able to start traveling, you fucking right. We're gonna do whatever it is,
and we're gonna show off. We're gonna take pictures.
To enjoy.
We're gonna do all that.
Yeah. All right. So, like I said, I'm not talking about the whole voting and all that other shit. I'm not talking about that.
That's obvious.
Redlining.
That's obvious.
I'm not talking about that.
Yeah, all that shit's obvious.
What I'm talking about is they mocked and made fun of many of those Negroes and their descendants and the way that they spoke.
Right.
Even up to this century. But now, AAVE is being called Gen Z speak.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that shit. But you know what? Here's the thing. Unfortunately, this ain't a new thing.
No.
Unfortunately, like you said, you can literally find content created by the larger demographic in this country that mocks that, so to speak. I was just thinking about this the other day when I was watching some shit on one of these YouTube channels. It's a white guy. It's a cool dude. I'm noticing the way he speaks, though. And I'm hearing a lot of this shit that speak African-American vernacular coming from out him. And I'm saying to myself, that's cool. Now that y'all doing it. But when we was doing it, it was mocked.
Yep.
Mocked. And that's not the first time. Twerking. Mocked. Dreads. Mocked. Rap. Mocked.
Yep.
So this, but let me allow a little bit of balance in the definition of culture.
Okay.
Culture, when you look at the definitions of culture, it typically does not explain how that culture came about.
That is a fact.
In a lot of the ways different cultures come about, because one, two things. People migrate into other areas, meet other peoples, find new ways of doing things that, hey, I like this way better. So then they co-opt it. The other way that culture shift is through invasion.
Raising, yeah.
Invasion. Motherfuckers come in, take your shit, fuck you up, and then start doing some of the things that you were doing because, like, hey, this is pretty good. They don't put value in the people, but they'll put value in some of these things that the people have done. So they hold these two different ideas all at one time. Y'all not real people. However, I like the fact that y'all do it this way, so we're going to start doing it. And now we're going to say we came up with it.
Bruh.
It's ours.
It's one of the weirdest flexes that has ever been flexed.
Yo, Ogma said, American revisionist historian. After the Pilgrims invited the Africans to America over for dinner, they danced and sang songs together and proceeded to build up a functioning and diverse community.
Did they now?
Yeah, I mean, you know. This is the reason they don't want, but see, a lot of stuff you're talking about is one of the reasons I really believe that this is the pushback against what they're trying to call everything CRT, including just the accurate teaching of history. They're trying to call that CRT, right? So I'm thinking this is part of the pushback. This is the next wave of devaluing a people, devaluing their struggle in this country, and then taking away the explanations for why certain things are the way they are, so they can insert their explanation, and then that becomes the explanation. And wouldn't you know it, that explanation devalues that people, those people.
Oh,
they're just not as smart. They don't work hard enough. They're not as creative. I literally watched a video, I think Sis shared with us, of the dude in that college, that professor or whatever in that college, trying to undervalue Black scientists, Black composers, all of this shit, as if I guess he really believes that if he had been around back then and been in the same situation as those people, he would have succeeded so much more and done so much more. They want to take the context out of the history so that they can tell it the way they want it to tell it, because it serves them. This is part of the propaganda, and many cultures are made up of a bunch of propaganda, a bunch of stories that are told to the benefit of the ruling class, the ruling structure in that country, and they get the masses to buy into it, and they can, because I've said this numerous times. If your community has a hand on the levers of all the things that make society work, and your intentions are foul, you can literally erase other motherfuckers out of history that you don't want.
Yeah.
If you control media, if you control education, if you control finance, hold up. If you control just anything that has to do with being able to not just come up with ideas, but promote them and push them in the heads of the people, you can effectively erase people's contributions from history.
Yeah.
If y'all think for 1 second that us being able to discuss these things for a little over 50 years is enough to combat the 275 years of utter erasure and bullshit, to the point where this minuscule little over 50 years of us, and really you got to cut into that time too, because it wasn't widespread and prevalent. You would find these books on some dusty bookshelf some motherfucking where.
You say 50, but we've only had the internet for like 30.
Facts. So facts. So again, like, that's what was going on. And if you're pissed now, after having it like Burger King, your way, for centuries, your story was the preeminent story. It was the prioritized doctrine here in this country. Now it's being challenged by people who were on a different rung of society and saw things differently, and you can't take it. I submit to you, you can no longer walk around calling everybody else a fucking snowflake.
Bruh.
You can't do that.
I want to address these two comments. So I'm going to get back to you, Vermin. I want to address Ogna because I might forget this if I don't say it now. Ogna says Americans learned it from the British. So I saw this post on Facebook, I believe, that one of my friends shared. And the original post says something to the effect of, matter of fact, there's no reason for me to try to remember it.
Facts.
Because it's on Facebickety. Let me see. Was it her that said it? Schooling, pictures of food, clean the bathroom, use directions, long you go without. Why she post so much? God damn.
Yeah, you're not gonna find that as easy as you thought.
No, nigga. Where are you at? Storm cleanup jobs. Saw this on Facebook. Kids eat free. Women can wake up. What the hell? There's videos and videos and videos and videos. It's not a video. Okay, I think I'm getting closer now. It's watermelon. Someone. Oh, this is a very poignant point. This isn't what I was talking about, but this is something for people to remember. Someone with broken English that lives here likely knows every single word that you know, but in a different language.
Yes.
So they literally know tens of thousands of more words than you do. Mm-hmm. Think about that the next time you question someone's intelligence for struggling with the only language that you know. Where the fuck is it? Okay, I should be close because I saw that one and I liked that one. Mm-hmm. It was about these goddamn and I was mad that she shared it because it's such a disingenuous take. Sleeping patterns. Learn to be thankful. That escalated. All right, I'm only going to look for about 10 more seconds because, motherfucker, why do you post so much? God damn. Some people aren't good at asking for help. Nobody can screw my life up. Not crawl through. I really, these coaches curse out. Okay, sleeping patterns. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Damn, I really didn't want to have to paraphrase this. 4, 3, 2. Huh, she might have deleted it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I'm way back now. She might have deleted it. Basically, she said, well, she didn't say anything. She didn't put a caption on it. She just shared it. The original post said something to the effect of, for everybody talking about how it was European culture, and they didn't use the word culture, but it's European culture to see somebody with something and say, oh, that's mine now. The response was, this is literally every culture in the history of the world. These people did it to that people. These people did. Okay, here's why you're being disingenuous. Because you're confusing. What do you like to call it?
Inhumanity to man.
Inhumanity towards man.
Right.
You're confusing man's inhumanity towards man with a literal worldwide colonial power.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not the same thing. It's not. It's stupid. It's a stupid comparison to make. Yes. So there are facts, and I that's why I say this shit all the time. There are facts that are true and irrelevant.
Right.
Facts. You can be both. But Vermin says, so is rocking dreads cultural appropriation? So
I just got a question. I got a question to ask about that. Or a challenge. Show me pictures of white men and white women in America wearing dreads back in the 1950s.
That's a great point. But before I give my answer, Jeremy Lin, the Asian basketball star, there was a point in time where he was wearing dreads. I don't know if he still does, whatever. I don't know. I don't remember when this situation actually happened. Right. There was a black player that I believe is now an analyst, and he was calling out Jeremy Lin for wearing dreads, talking about this cultural appropriation, blah, 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 blah. Jeremy Lin, not out of spite, not negatively at all,
right,
made a comment back, but mentioned in the comment, bro, you have Chinese letters tattooed on your body. So, is rocking dreads cultural appropriation? I personally feel like a group of people can be responsible for appropriation, while
But
at
an
the same
individual
time, a
is
single
not.
person
Is not.
could actually just be appreciated.
They just like it.
Yeah.
And I think the other important element that's always left out of these conversations is whether people that were doing it in this society first, where they mocked,
right,
not hired for jobs, told in schools, your kid can't come in here wearing that hairstyle, because I can almost guarantee you that part of the appropriation conversation never gets had by a segment of the population, because they know, or because I ain't gonna say they know, they could just suspect that's not relevant to them, but it is relevant.
Right.
If I'm penalized for doing this,
yep,
and then as soon as y'all start doing it,
it's okay.
It's okay.
Not a problem.
That's the part of it. It's not the appreciation. I like the style. I'm gonna wear the style. And it's like you said.
It's not just that.
Individuals know. An individual rocking a particular hairstyle.
There's a way to do it. See, so on that thread, I saw somebody say, all this shit is dumb. Everybody takes from everybody's culture. Why can't we just let that be what it is? Black person.
Of course.
This is the point. You over there somewhere.
Over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, this person did not address the part about, we were ridiculed for this.
Right.
And then other people take it and they even make money off of it.
Right. So let me clarify my group versus individual. Let me tidy that up. If a group is guilty of cultural appropriation, then it is possible that an individual that belongs to that group could be participating in something without being appropriated. But an individual still can participate in cultural appropriation.
Absolutely.
Prime example, what the fuck is her name? She doesn't use it anymore. Aquafina
with the
perfect example. Aquafina. The way that Aquafina got on and got popular was she was using AAVE all the time. She had a black scent. Yeah. As well. Soon as she got big, all that shit dropped. Mm-hmm. When you watch The 10 Rings.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah, Shang-Chi. When you watch Shang-Chi, you don't see none of that.
Nope. All that's gone.
You don't see when you see the interviews for Shang-Chi, the press for Shang-Chi that she's involved in, you don't see none of that.
Yo, I got an even more extreme one. Kid Rock.
Bruh.
Kid Rock.
Yo.
When Kid Rock first came out, he leaned into this hip hop element of it. Like you saw portions of Run DMC in his shit. You saw all this other stuff. Look at Kid Rock now. And look at how he talks about the people that gave him a style to run with that got him. But see, this is also another reason why, I got to get the fuck away from him. If there's a heavy concentration of people that think like that, I don't want to be around that.
Bruh.
I don't want to be around it. It's a heavy concentration. Because they are oblivious, either oblivious or being malicious and acting obtuse, right? What with him, when that nigga first came out, you had all these scratches in his shit. I'm sitting there. It was hip hop, nigga. I don't even want to say adjacent.
No,
that shit was sounding like. That shit was straight up Run DMC. Grandmaster J over that motherfucker, yo.
Ball with the ball, dang, yo, all that.
Come on, man.
I can't remember who came out first. I'm pretty sure he might have. But a big thing of his rise came around the time when Linkin Park was doing that thing.
Yes.
Limp Bizkit was doing that thing.
Yes.
That was the whole thing. They were absolutely heavily rapping for.
Yeah.
And I out of the three of those acts, only Kid Rock has made a massive heel turn. But I don't. In hindsight, I don't know if it was actually a heel turn or if this was what he was doing
exactly. Just like Ogma just said, more likely disingenuous than oblivious.
Yeah.
And we see that with what's the face's kid?
Chet Hanks.
Yeah. We gave you a style to run with, and then once you get past a certain point, now you want to talk shit.
Right.
You want to talk shit and ridicule. And then we supposed to be good with it. There's a reason why they think we're supposed to be good with it. Because these old perceptions of the happy-go-lucky Negro.
Yeah.
Just that shit James Baldwin said about the Negro, happy, mild, or some shit like that. Fear the day they change their mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's a reason, it's a reason for a lot of shit that sometimes goes beyond current times. These are perceptions and behaviors that are kind of baked in the cake that started a long time ago and still get carried on today. Back during the the transatlantic slave trade. That's what we were trying. That's what we were trying.
Yes. Okay.
All right. There was a time until Nat Turner, the perception of the African and the enslaved African here in the United States was, they're happy to be here.
Yeah.
They're doing well. That was the perception. They took that shit throughout their minds, their people. And then Nat Turner. and then Nat Turner, right? No, as a matter of fact, we don't like that shit.
Yeah. Here's the thing. You're being disingenuous because I don't know about you, Tim. I don't know about you. Mm-hmm. And for all those people with this particular fetish, the fetishes aside, I don't require chains for things that I'm happy to do.
Facts.
I personally
Facts.
don't require chains for things that I'm happy to do.
Yeah. When I'm sitting here playing video games, I don't have to be chained to my seat, as it turns out.
I don't think that's a thing. I don't think that's a thing. I might be hypothetically chained to my seat because it's just such a good game. Right. Yeah, but no, I don't. Literal chains and whips. To paraphrase Rihanna, chains and whips don't excite me. I don't. Like, that's your kink. That's your kink.
It's disingenuous.
Yeah,
but I can also see if they already framed it where Africans are less than human.
Sure.
And you get people to believe that.
Yeah.
And they got plenty of people to believe that.
Oh.
Plenty of people to believe that shit.
Right.
I can see where the next logical step. I see us do it with pets. I see us do that shit with pets a lot. We project our shit onto them. Yeah. So I could see they were literally breeding Africans like cattle.
Facts.
But this is also another reason why, if you take a look at all of the, I'm going to use one institution, Supreme Court. Supreme Court. As long as they've been taking pictures or drawing portraits or whatever of the makeup of the Supreme Court, as long as there's been a Supreme Court, go and find the history of the Supreme Court in pictures. And you see what that was. No one's going to convince me.
Oh, my bad.
No one's going to convince me that all of those folks back then had good intentions for Africans.
Right.
They were fair and even-handed with Africans.
I just thought about something.
No, they weren't.
Yo, I'm pretty sure this joke has been made before, and I'm just late to the party, but I'm about to make it anyway. Yo, Clarence Thomas, Uncle Tom.
Yeah, bro, you are late to that.
The
problem is he's not even Uncle Tom.
No, he's not the actual caricature of. No, he's not.
Yeah, he's not the actual character. He's the invented version of it, because Uncle Thomas was not a coon.
No,
at all. In that story, he was not that, right? No. But yes, It's been made.
Listen.
It was made. It was made during the Anita Hill shit. It was made back then. That joke was being made back then.
Right.
But not like I think people want to act as if there are a bunch of good-hearted, empathetic people of all communities, ethnic groups, and whatever.
All
today.
Walks of life.
All walks of life. All walks of life. But sometimes I think people project how they feel
onto
those people from back then. And I'm here to tell you, it's not you are about being fair. Yeah. You are about being empathetic. They were not.
No.
So going along with that, you can't expect me to feel about them the same way others would feel about them when it was my family they abused. Sorry. You can't expect me to hold them in reverence. And listen, there are plenty of black people that do.
Sure.
I can't explain why. No. None of my business. I'm talking about me.
I know why.
Well, of course,
propaganda.
There's reasons.
Yeah.
There's reasons.
Propaganda and all that, Stockholm Syndrome, all that shit.
Right. But you can't expect me to see Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, any of them motherfucking Supreme Court motherfuckers back then, any of them motherfuckers. You can't expect me to see them the way other people would see them when it was my family that was negatively affected by their actions and behavior. I'm not going to give them the benefit of the. What the fuck?
What do I look like doing that?
Right. The fuck you think I am?
There's no reason to give benefit of the doubt for something that's recorded.
Yes. Egregious.
It happened. We know it happened. So it's happened and it was stamped and we're decades, in some cases centuries past the event happening. There's no benefit of the doubt there. History favors the winners. Sure, absolutely.
That's how it works.
That's how that works.
That's how it works.
You can't do anything about that part of it. But at the same time, also,
exactly, Discord, exactly.
Also, you can't, if you're living now and you're assuming that there had to be good people, you're right.
Of course you're
right.
But what that does is that makes the ones doing the fuck shit,
right,
it's even worse, because I always bring this up to it, because one of the excuses I hear when people just trying to do apologetics for that is that, it was a different time, people thought differently. No, there were abolitionists there at the time.
Absolutely people that were saying this is wrong.
There were literally white abolitionists going, what the fuck? This is not what we should be doing. This is sinful.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it was rooted in the church. This was sinful. So no, you're not hitting me with that.
Of slavery. People tell, everybody's experienced slavery. Yeah.
Chattel slavery is way different.
It's different.
It's way different.
You couldn't outwork your slavery.
You were literally considered an animal.
You're not an indentured servant.
You're a cow.
Yeah.
Or a bull.
Yeah.
Or a horse.
They literally called them bulls.
And
bucks.
Your offspring was their property.
Yep.
So at least anybody get confused and try to think it was just they were just butlers. And
then often sold.
And often sold as such, the same way you would sell a calf to the farm down the road. Like, you need. Well, look, my Bessie is about to have some calves. So when she has it, I got you. We do that sort of shit was happening. So again, and it shouldn't really need to be something that needed to ever be said, but it does, because you can tell by the way people approach you on these conversations. Like, you're supposed to feel about these motherfuckers the way they do. And I'll be like, do you not know that what was happening back then? And these guys were the author of it, which means they were absolutely the ones that could stop it.
Absolutely.
They were the ones in power.
Here's the thing. Ogden says, Donald Trump, I'm the best thing that happened to black people since Lincoln. Ignoring all the trash shit Lincoln did to black people and comparing himself to freeing the slaves. Now, in that case, he's being more ignorant than disingenuous, but still, Google's the thing. Here's the thing about that, Ogden. Google being a thing. All right. I have these wireless Bluetooth headphones
that you never use.
I don't use them.
You'll never use them.
I don't use them. They exist. They're a tool. They're an instrument. that do their job very well.
Yeah.
I don't
use
ever use them. Here's the thing. Why don't I use them? I don't really have a reason to be honest. Like,
Right.
I could. Would it enhance parts of my life? Potentially. But I don't really have a need for it. That being said, if you're in a dominant demographic, you don't really have a need.
There's no need for you to concern yourself.
No.
With anything other than and that is human.
Yes, that's human.
That's human. That's a human thing.
Those aren't bad people for doing that. No,
that's a human thing. That's like everything that I need, I got.
Yeah,
for the most part. I have access to.
Right. It's just that the byproduct of that sucks. It's detrimental.
It's detrimental to everybody that's not in that position because, like, you don't have to. We always talk about how education is the thing that bridges the gap between people's positions and all of that. I would argue that there's another step before education. That's the desire to be educated.
Yep, absolutely.
If you don't have the desire to be educated on these things, if you are overly hostile when people who had a completely different experience than you are telling you their experience because it somehow brings you some sort of cognitive dissonance pain about your perception you have of reality or the perception you have of a society you're in, that's what I consider it, that there is malicious stuff going on there. Because if somebody comes to tell me something that I didn't know, I'm not going to be mad at the person telling me something that I didn't know. I'm going to go, oh, I had no idea that was a thing. Yeah. To get hostile about it to that point where you feel like you need to defend people who you say was way back then, and you tell us, well, why would you guys feel a way about those were those people back then? Well, why would you feel a way about me talking about Thomas Jefferson? Rapey ass.
Yep.
Why would you? Because it's a difference with us. I've never seen it not that case. When it comes to our folks from our family that was brought over here in chains, a lot of these people that think like that don't see don't understand or don't want to understand why you would feel connected to them. Right. But at the same time, there are other people from that era who they feel connected to. Mm-hmm. Literally, this stuff. They love George. They loving on George Washington. Loving on him. On him. This all happened around the same period of time, B.
Yeah. And I'll even give them that, to be fair, outside of the shit with the black people, George Washington was a great man.
I don't know that's true. I know that's what they say.
Well, right. That's what I mean.
I know he did great things for the country.
Yeah, right.
But as far as being a great man,
personally,
I just know that's what they. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I know he had a bunch of slaves.
Yeah,
that he kept them the entire time. I think he's supposed to have put something in his will where once he died,
he's
gonna set people free.
But again,
that's problematic as fuck too. But you know what I'm saying?
So you're only my property.
Right.
This is my property.
Right.
Nobody else is good enough to have my property.
Yeah.
It's my property. And
so I always put things in those exactly. He did great things, but also committed atrocities. Yeah. So what happens is when we talk about the atrocities, like they want a lot of times these people who are so caught up on the American propaganda, they want us to X out the atrocities and not factor that into his character. Like,
that's all a part of the gumbo.
No, that's all part of the gumbo. Yeah, all part of the gumbo. Like,
come on now,
we not doing
none of this. Like, you don't actually erase. There's too much red in the ledger.
There's too much red in the ledger, dude. Too much red in the ledger.
You can't actually erase that.
The only way you can is if you don't value the lives that were negatively affected. And that's why I say a lot of people, they're going to have to sit down and have a serious conversation with themselves. Because you say you value that shit. You value all lives matter. You say that,
That's
but then
persecution
when we start,
complex. That is a persecution complex. I was literally just thinking about that before you said it.
mm-hmm.
If I say Black Lives Matter, why do you assume anything other than Black Lives Matter too?
Right.
Because I shouldn't have to say. Clearly, it's a response. This isn't. It's a declarative statement, but it's not me. It's not me starting the conversation.
Yeah.
This is a response.
If your face is carved into the Black Hills, you're probably facts.
All facts. All facts.
I mean, listen.
Question.
I think one of the most productive things in the whole like educational system when it comes to history that we could have gotten was that more balanced conversation. Instead, there's pushback.
I wonder how much of it was actually ignorance. Like,
nah, when it comes to well, I'm gonna point my bars towards politicians that are doing.
Oh, absolutely.
Shit.
Oh,
I don't believe for one moment.
But I'm talking about like when certain things were separate from government. Mm-hmm. How much of that was ignorance versus it being intentional? Like, I wonder about that.
You would have to be able to detect outward hostility towards the people.
Right.
See, it's not that conversation, because some of it could be ignorance in that conversation. Okay. But if I see your daily behavior or I see different examples of you being hostile towards specific, and then when this conversation comes up, you push back. That's hostility, bro.
Yeah,
that's hostility. That's hostility. That's the thing that's governing whether or not you'll accept that new data. It's hostility. You have hostility. And again, like I said, we could. This conversation about history in this country, period, could be so meaningful.
Yeah.
If not for the pushback, because people are so emotionally invested and keeping the founding fathers as prophets and divine figures. You're so invested in Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, Ben Franklin, all these people being these figures of divinity that you can't for 1 second have the conversation about having a balanced talk about their lives, what they did, who they negatively affected, and who they positively. You can't, because they didn't turn them into prophets.
Well, here's the thing.
And all that other shit.
Here's the thing. I think that's a byproduct. I don't think that's necessarily intentional. I
do.
I think a person. No. I think a
propaganda.
Person has, no. I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about the people that put it upon other people. I'm talking about the people who it was put upon. I don't think it was necessarily intentional. I think it's human nature to assume that if you're betrayed, it was a change. Not that this person was always that. No, that something changed in this person. You turned on me. You got this, blah, blah, blah. Rather than realizing that how you feel about a person does not equate to how they feel about you.
Or how, yeah.
And just because you like a person does not mean they don't have things about them that if you knew, you wouldn't like.
Right.
I think that's a big thing with that.
I've often wondered too, like, I kind of get it, but I've been, especially since I've been an adult, nigga, if your drawers is dirty, your drawers is dirty. Look.
That's a fact.
Now, it's one thing if you have poor personal character that only affects you.
Yes.
That's you.
I had that. That's the exact conversation I had with Marcus about the Queen.
That's it. If your poor personal behavior
things, if it's on a micro level, and you're not really affecting a whole bunch of people, sure.
Right.
But if your bad mistakes affect thousands, millions of people, you don't have any benefit of the doubt. There's no grace given for that.
Not for me.
with
Not for
great
me.
power comes great
Great
responsibility.
responsibility.
You might not have wanted the responsibility, but it's not something you can separate from power.
And you also didn't take away the benefits of that power. Like you didn't reject the benefits of the power. No, you still embraced that. You still lived well, ate well, got good medical care. That's why you lived in 96. There's a reason, you know what I'm saying? Like you still accepted all of the good shit that come with that. You literally have jewels in your crown
almost
that was stolen.
A century.
Yeah, we not see that. That's what I'm saying.
You
that's
reigned for almost a century.
Yeah.
Not just lived for, you reigned for almost a century. Almost 3/4 of a century.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
This is why, like I said, bro, like I feel like a lot of people are so emotionally attached to these historic figures that they can't, like, yo, I am fully well aware of Malcolm X's past before he was vaunted. Well aware of it. And I factor all of that shit in.
Yeah,
it's one of these things that some of these people don't want to do that. They want to keep them this pristine image of what they learned in Schoolhouse Rock.
Martin Luther King was a piece of shit when it comes to being in a relationship.
Yeah, cheated on his wife.
I'm well aware of that.
Cheated on his wife.
Habitually.
Yeah.
Not just once. Oh, yeah, but no. It was a thing. Yeah, but that doesn't change the good.
No, that's what I'm just saying. Like it doesn't change.
It doesn't change the bad if somebody does something good. No, all that shit is there. It's a person in totality.
And you have to factor all of that in.
Bruh.
And again, that was
people be binary.
That affected
not real.
His relationship with his wife. Yeah. Now, the good that he did affected millions of people.
Right.
Millions of people. So you got to factor all that shit in. So here's the thing. We see him from outside the context of the relationship he had with his wife.
Right.
And we celebrate him, right?
Mm-hmm.
You think I'm going to be mad at his wife for being a bit bitter about some of the shit? No, because this is her personal experience with the man, the person. So if I don't know that she felt that way, but if she did feel that way, I would not begrudge her that shit at all.
If her or any of their children got anything bad to say about him, then that's what it is.
And I would never begrudge. This is their so just understand that when you running around here throwing Thomas Jefferson up, hey, my man TJ, don't feel a way about people that had a different experience with him saying, man, fuck that motherfucker, man. Fuck him. Fuck him. Because trust me, when the day comes when y'all get that blurb over the social media thing, yo, we lost Tomb, yo. There are scores of people, man. Fuck him. I'm glad he's gone. And I gotta own that because the things that I did to those people that I look back on and say that wasn't warranted, yo. You shouldn't have did that, yo.
Right.
I have to eat that. That is what it is. And you shouldn't begrudge them saying, because they know they had a personal relationship with me, and a personal experience with me, and I was ass, at the time, and it never got resolved. This is their last remembrance of me. Their last experience of me was me doing something to them that was wrong, and I look back on it even as an adult. Look back on some of the shit I did. Yikes! I was not supposed to do that shit. You cannot begrudge them people for saying "fuck me" when I'm dead.
Right,
you can't.
They have a reason.
They have a reason.
The only time that you can do that is if they're mad about the good things.
Yes. Yeah.
If you have people that are mad at MLK because of all the progress that he brought,
now
then
we got an issue.
Yeah,
now we got an issue.
You got people that have a slight issue with him because he was a philanderer. Is it philanderer? Is that the word, people? Philanderer? Let me look it up. Because I feel like I want to use a fancy word. Philanderer. A man who readily and frequently enters a casual sexual relationships with a... I got it right! God damn it. No, philanderer. Philanderer. Just because he was a philanderer, if people are mad about that, sure. No. Oh my God damn it. yeah, if people want to be mad at that, sure. If people want to be mad at the good that he did, nah, fuck them. Like what? No, it's a completely different thing. If you want to praise a person who had overall negative impact on people, but you're not specific, fuck you. If you're specifically praising them for the good things that they did, okay. But still don't ignore the bad things that they did. Like, come on. Is it really that much for people to just be open and
I have an
complete?
addendum too. Addendum. There are other people out there. If you get that, when the day comes when y'all get that social media blast, Tomb is gone. You cannot be mad at the people who assaulted me because of the experience, a negative experience they had with me, and I was dead ass wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But there are other people out there who are going to claim we was good, we was cool, and yeah, we was that. We weren't. And if you see a motherfucker that you know I wasn't good with, ODing like that, check them.
Yeah.
Check
that's
them.
Completely. Yeah, that's
check
not
them.
Happen. This course says, I think a lot of historical perspective gets lost in comparing then to now. Like my wife keeps telling me that calling my past self actions stupid is wrong because I only see my past faults because of personal growth. No, I don't think that's wrong.
I don't think it's wrong. I think you can objectively look.
You're removing yourself from the situation.
Remove yourself from the situation.
You're not necessarily beating yourself down.
I can really tell you
that thing that happened was a terrible thing that should never have happened.
Bro, anybody I rubbed
right
at the time I was good with what we was doing, anybody that I didn't jumped or did other things to, I can look back at 53 and say, I was not supposed to be doing that stupid shit.
Facts.
I was not supposed to be doing that at all. And I can't go back. I don't have the time stone, so I can't go back and change none of that. But what I can do, at the very least, is acknowledge I was wrong.
Acknowledge you were
I
wrong.
Was wrong.
Change,
you know what I'm saying?
Change your perspective on how you look at that thing.
Yeah.
That's really all you can do. That's
it.
the bare minimum. Yo, you about to get me mad again. That's literally all we be asking for, right?
That's it.
Literally all we be asking for.
I mean,
acknowledge you were wrong and make sure you change the perspective.
That's what we want. But a lot of people ain't like that. A lot of people will beat somebody up over some shit they did back then, even though it's clear they're not that same type of person now.
Yes, absolutely.
They're not that same type of person now, and they'll still be the. So I know for us, like part of your like Discourse said, part of your personal growth is to acknowledge the things that you did.
Wilded.
You know, yo, I mean, yeah. but look, right? But look, like part of your personal growth is to look back at that time and see past the haze of nostalgia.
Yeah.
And really look at your actions, the reasons you did what you did, and make an analysis. There are things that I did.
The sentence, nigga, I was wilding.
I was wild. Yo, just don't get it twisted. There were things I did back then that I look on now and still stand 10 toes down on it.
Sure.
I was supposed to break my foot off in your ass for that shit you did. But then there's other things that I go back and go, yo, I was ODing, I was wilding. That shit was ridiculous for me to even do that. And if I saw the person today, I would apologize to them for it. And if they were still mad and want to shoot the fair one, I shoot the fair one with them, right? Because I was dead ass wrong. And it's not something that I would want to do now as an adult, knowing what I know now. And it's not something I want to see my kids doing. It's not something that I would promote, which is why in my music, you don't see me promoting it. Y'all don't know the half.
Yeah.
SBJ, no. He's heard old music. Y'all don't know the half. Y'all don't know the half. That's why I don't promote certain shit in my music because I know I was wrong. So why would I like promoting that?
I kind of one day want to do a song where I just remove all the shackles of responsibility and just wild the fuck.
You
just
should.
One song.
Don't release it. Don't release it. Don't release it.
So Vermin, I want to say ahead of time before I read this, I agree with your concept, but I want to push back not against what you're saying, but how other people say this thing.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're going.
I live without regrets because all the mistakes I've made, I'm learning from them. So it adds to me as a man. So it has value, and I can't regret anything that adds value to my character. And I've made some doozies. Here's the thing: I think people use the word regret in a wrong way.
Same.
When as a matter of fact, before I do that, let me just look the actual definition of it up. So, feel sad, repented, or disappointed over something.
Say that word again.
Or repentant. Disappointed. Oh, repentant. Feel sad, repentant, or disappointed over something that has happened or been done, especially a loss or missed opportunity. See, what we do here, and I'm sure it happens other places, I'm just not a native speaker of other languages. Right. But what we do here is we automatically apply certain connotations to words. Facts. And that don't be what the word means.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with a regret. A regret means that you're acknowledging that you changed. Yeah. That's really all that is. Yeah. You acknowledge that you were wrong. You are repentant, or you feel sad, or you feel disappointed in your behavior, in your actions, in an outcome, or whatever the case may be. Like I said, what you're saying, Vermin, lines up with the definition. I just don't like the way the word is used in general. Yeah.
Because again, plus part of the growth is saying I shouldn't have did that.
Yeah.
Because if I can't say I shouldn't have did that, what's to stop me from doing it again?
Dwelling on the regret is what's wrong.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with feeling repentant.
Yeah. Because trust me, if I hurt somebody, and this is physically, emotionally, whatever, and I look back on the situation and go, yo, you were dead ass wrong. There was no way you was right. I'm going to have I'm not a monster today.
Right.
I'm not a monster today. So I'm going to go, yo, I should not have done that shit. I should not have done that shit. And that's me acknowledging my growth now, because it's not something I would do now.
Absolutely.
Right? For those reasons. At the time, I could have been on some other shit. And that's the other thing too. The longer you live, you're gonna live long enough to see your whole shit flip a couple of times.
Yeah.
That your worldview.
Hopefully.
Yeah, if you're somebody
if you're worth anything,
yes,
as a human being.
Yes. Because I'm telling you now, a lot of the shit that I'm on today, I wasn't on that shit back then. I wasn't on that. You feel me? In regards to how I treated women.
Right.
Just my response to certain shit was completely different back then. I was almost like a whole different person, with the exception of certain core values. Because I always tell people, you're basically still that kid in the playground. You just have layers around that kid. You have layers of experience and time to have gone through things and analyzed your behavior and seen the behaviors of others. Some shit imprinted on you from other people. Some shit you saw that shit going, that. But trust me, I tell you, none of y'all have original thought. Right. Whatever you're thinking, somebody has thought that shit at some point in time.
New under the sun.
There's nothing new under the sun. So
yes, Vermin, exactly. You said, I guess I've just accepted it.
You can't
change and only learn from it.
Right.
Exactly. That's why, like Ogma said, that's where the dwelling comes in. Don't dwell on that shit. Acknowledge that you changed, you made a mistake, you realize it was wrong, and hopefully you don't repeat that type of behavior. That's really what that is.
Vermin, he said, I get frustrated when people do that. Bro, I had a whole decade of getting mad at people about the way they use theory, yo. I even did some YouTube videos about that. I'm like, I told people I'm no longer arguing, having conversations with people about science who don't understand the word theory in the scientific connotation. That's basic. If you don't get, that's a waste of my time talking to you. It's a waste of my time talking to you. If I still keep seeing, especially after I corrected you and showed you where. No, in science is different than colloquial. It's not.
Yeah. A lot of
and you go right back to using it that way in this conversation about science. I'm not talking to you for what?
Yeah, because they don't understand. A lot of people are taking what is close to, if not the end of the fucking process, with the beginning of the process, which is formulating a hypothesis or opinion.
Yo, that's what they explain what a hypothesis is with a theory in science. Yo, no. Stop. Stop. I know I probably still have that video up on my fucking Tombstone channel from years back talking about, yo, if you don't know what a theory is in scientific context, I'm not talking to you about science.
Facts.
I'm not.
Facts. I get it. Especially if you're fucking obstinate about it.
Right. Exactly.
That's funny, Discord.
Gravity shit. It's just a theory. Flies away. Yo, that's hilarious.
Oh my god.
That's hilarious, yo.
Oh my goodness.
So y'all motherfuckers are nuts.
Yeah, but again, I saw instances of pretty much all of these examples that I brought up this past week, and I'm like, yo, y'all really wilding? No, y'all not wilding. This is what has been.
This is what has been, and this is how y'all used to hate Jonathan.
Bruh.
100%. His song "Guilty." I had a song like that, similar to that, called "Monster," years ago. Yo, that song is exactly what we're talking about. That's him acknowledging the shit he did wrong to people, right? And professing I'm guilty. I did that shit. I'm not gonna hide. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna do some bullshit and then try to justify it with something. No, I'm not gonna do none of that. I'm guilty.
Yeah.
It's accepting responsibility, and that's an adult thing, and that's something also that you need to teach your children.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many people who are here that are parents, but if you have children, it is important to stress upon them accountability, because let me tell you something, even from a self-serving standpoint, it's only going to hurt you. As the parent, it's only going to hurt you if you do not teach your kids the value and accepting accountability for shit they did that was wrong. It's going to fuck you up. I have literally watched whole families go down from that shit right there, right? From them not really instilling in their children the idea of accountability for shit that they did wrong, and why they should be held accountable and all of that. I've seen what happens when those kids grow up. Hoofa! Hoofa!
Nigga.
Yeah, yo, it's terrible. It's terrible, B. It's terrible. And listen, there's no such thing as perfect parents, right? No such thing as perfect parents. However, there are some people just better at that shit than others. I'm not gonna hold you. There's some people, and that's the thing. Like, there are some things that I watched my grandmother do when she was helping to raise us that I would never do with my kids. Never. Because that shit's ass. Yeah. And that's not the flex you think it is. And the kids aren't seeing you or receiving it the way you think they're receiving that shit, all right? They're not receiving those, whatever lesson you think you're pushing. The child is not, because if I'm putting myself in the child's shoes when I was a child and watched you do this shit, whatever you thought I was thinking, that's not what I was thinking. That's not how I received that. So, I mean, it's part of that too is you being able to look back and see things and learn from other people's mistakes and how it affected you, and then have the empathy to pass that shit on to your kids. Like, I'm not gonna do that to my kid just because that was done to me, because I know how that affected me. You know what I'm saying? I know how that affected me.
That's not how that's supposed to work.
Oh, I'm gonna kill. Yo, we had this thread, years ago that still pops up every so often in the memories, and somebody comments on the shit, where we was going in on the word fact, right? When people be yelling facts to something that's not a fact. Facts! It's like, no, it ain't.
Not really.
What the fuck is you talking about? What the fuck you talking about? Oh, before we leave, it's one thing.
Facts. Email.
One thing I just want to put out there, just from this show, to another content creator, DJ Snackademics.
Oh God.
That bullshit you said.
I forgot to put it on the goddamn docket.
It's not even worthy of a long conversation about it, because he got checked by several. Like, yo, you showed what everybody was talking about when it came to you from the beginning, about how you're not moored to this hip hop culture. You don't revere it. This is just an opportunity for you, and you jumped up in it to get money, and congrats to you. You got it.
You got the bag.
You got the bag, but you going to stop pretending you give a fuck about the culture of hip hop. Because nobody that gives a fuck about the culture of hip hop would say what you said and try to defame and denigrate the pioneers on some really simple, like, there's no way that you could think that back then they had the opportunities that niggas have now. Yeah. Like, yo, that shows that for real, you're not invested in that culture at all. This was a means to an end, and all that vulture shit motherfuckers was hitting you with, it wasn't wrong. No. It wasn't wrong. And I tried to get a nigga the benefit of the doubt. I was like, he young, he still got, he gonna learn more. You saying shit like that, you calling the pioneers dusty and broke and all that other shit.
This is kind of scary. I think we got the better version of academics
doing the Chicago thing.
No. I'm saying the monster that he could have been.
Facts.
We didn't get because of people like Charlamagne and Joe Budden.
And I was just about to name Joe. I was just about to say Joe.
Yeah. I feel like it would have been much worse.
Oh yes. Facts, special space. Facts. The people that laid the people that laid down that you wouldn't have it. No. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't know that this was going to be as valuable as this. Who knew? There's no way to know.
Could have possibly. Come on now,
bro. When I was a kid, we got hip hop on the urban stations 1 hour a day.
Right.
1 hour, and that was it.
Yeah.
Who knew? You know what I'm saying? Who knew? Yo, I remember a time when it was only about
a kid. Even in the 90s, there's no way that you could have said that hip hop is going to be the number one genre in the world.
You wouldn't have known that, but you did.
No
but
way.
At least by the 90s, you knew it was money in it because niggas was going platinum.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But I remember when there was only about 5 hip hop artists that was recorded, literally recorded, that they had music for to be able to play on the goddamn radio.
Right.
It's sickening when you hear somebody try to shit on the pioneers who struggle so you can have some shit like that. That's not. To me, that shows evidence of a broken perception of culture, because you don't find that in other cultures as much. Like, they revere that. Why do you think that TV show, that Netflix show, Get Out, what was the name of it? Where they was doing the break dancing and the DJing and all that other shit. I cannot remember the fucking name of it. The Get Down.
Yeah.
The way they revered the way they presented the pioneers, that's
how that's supposed to happen.
That's how that's supposed to happen, bro. Not that bullshit you saying.
Biddy says, I've been saying stuff I didn't realize was rooted in racism, been learning so much, so keep calling me out when I do say stuff without thinking. Listen, that is the only reason I ever bring these things up. Right?
I love Biddy.
I'm aware of what, at least on the live, I'm aware of what our audience is.
Yeah.
This isn't like, if y'all been listening long enough, y'all know that I'm a very observant person.
It just never came up. It's never come up.
I'm fully aware of what our live audience is. It's a little bit different once you go to the Spotify's and all that other stuff. But as far as live, is live, I'm very aware of what our audience is. It's the only reason I ever bring this stuff up. That's why I always add caveats when I say these things. I want to be clear. This isn't directly at you, Betty, but I want to be clear that I'm about to say something that may be incendiary, given your sensibilities potentially. I don't apologize for it. I don't care.
We love you too, Vern.
Way about it. But
Ogma, I know you, nigga. I know you.
But yeah, look, I make it clear that I'm about to say something that can potentially be incendiary. I do not apologize for it. I do not care if it makes you upset. All I care is that if you're listening, understand what I'm saying. And hopefully some type of growth or acceptance or whatever the case can come out of it. Because I know some of the stuff that I say is going to initially knee-jerk be incendiary to some people,
especially 100%. People who haven't heard that perspective before.
Right.
But again, I don't know what's interesting. We have these types of conversations on the show because it's like you said, our live stream is made up of a different demographic than the people that listen on Spotify and shit. But I gotta tell y'all, if you guys actually help move the show forward,
absolutely,
with content and all of that, because we'll have some ideas about what we want to talk about on the episode, but the responses you guys give to this stuff actually help drives the content forward. So we appreciate that. Like I can't even tell y'all how many live streams I've listened to where there are these huge gaps of silence, huge gaps of white noise, right? And we don't have that here because we get this back and forth with you guys. That's why I thought it was funny on the Twitch stream that day when the one guy, guy not realizing that we're streaming on multiple platforms and thinking he should be the special one because he did us a favor.
I'm the only person watching, and y'all couldn't.
Except for you weren't even with that. Napalm was over there on Twitch watching too. You know what I'm saying? Like, but whatever the case is, right? He thought, right? You know what I'm saying? But not realizing that, we don't need to just have this insulated thing here when we have people that are watching the show every week and help add to it, help us formulate our ideas, give us pushback. We push back on that. Like all of that shit helps bring this. How long been doing this goddamn show? Hey, yo, Jonathan is so. Twitch. You know what I'm saying?
3 years at least.
3 years at least, bro. Yeah, 3 years at least. Like we could not do this. We could not have continued to do this shit. And have it be fun.
Mike needs to be stopped.
He does, yo.
Huge gaps of Paula Dean. White noise.
He's ass, yo. He's ass. No, we seriously, because like I said, I remember early parting.
Oh.
Now I see people going hang out and use it. It was painful. Painful.
Oh my God.
Painful. Like
terrible.
What the fuck?
Despicable.
Yeah. I think shit is better now.
Sloppy. Dusty.
Musty. Weak. Soft. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jay Black. But anyway, we about to get up out of here. And do not forget to check out my man Jay the Nerd's channel. Please go check his channel out. Also, go check out our man Super Side Guys, Metas and Mutants. Shut up. Argument's so stupid. Shut up. You know what I'm saying? And if you haven't, subscribe to the Multi-Word Entertainment channel and the Majestic Comics channel. And I believe that's it. So for my man SPJ, I am Tombstone the Dead Man. And for the greater Multi-World Entertainment fan.